everybody, how's it going? It looks like the stream is going live early. Ooh. Alright, let's see if we can get this show on the road. Age of Sorcery is starting! Awesome. Awesome stuff. We love to see it. We love to see it. How's everybody today? I hope you're having a good day. Right, we'll turn that off. We're done with the timer. Sweet. Let's see what we get here today. Yours. I'm hoping this is going to be a good one. We will see though. Alright. Give me a second. There we go. Hello everybody. How's it going? Had my hair cut. I just come back, rushed home like, oh, Conan update. Let's unmute this as well to get the volume going. Turn that off now. Get some music in there. Alright, so aim today is we're going to watch this together. I'm going to let you know the kind of thoughts I have on it. Just watch it together. We can share opinions and whatever. When's it come out? We don't know until this stream. We're going to find out all the answers, questions, everything we want to know. We're going to find out right now. So dates, hopefully, fingers crossed. Extra information. I'm hoping they're going to clarify a lot on the monetization we saw in the trailer. If you haven't seen that yet, got 2 videos on that one, so definitely check it out. Welcome everybody, by the way. Welcome to the channel. Good to have you in the chat. Oh, it's starting. Starting with a trailer. There you go.
3.0 is probably the biggest update we've ever made.
It touches almost every aspect of Conan Exiles.
Fans should absolutely be excited for 3.0. It is a major patch. It includes sorcery.
Sword and sorcery. This is the other half of the genre that's been missing.
On top of that, we've got updates to the building system.
It's gonna have a battle pass, perks and attributes revamp.
And shop as well, called the Black Lotus Bazaar.
I'm just going to be quiet for this so those who haven't seen it, they get to see it.
Sorcery is absolutely imperative to the world of Conan. When the genre was having its name coined, it literally became half of the name, sword and sorcery.
We've always wanted to add sorcery to the game. We think it's a part of the game that needs to be there to experience Howard's world in full.
A lot of other games are high fantasy games, and they focus a lot on fireballs and things that you can see coming out of your hands.
We wanted to find a way to make it feel more kind of physically grounded, sinister and evil. It's more about focusing and amplifying sorceress energy.
And as you select different words of power, you'll be building different spells.
Sorcery is broken up into 2 different parts. There's rituals and spells. Rituals are more kind of the crafting side of it, where you perform some kind of magical or sorcerous ritual at a crafting station at your base in order to make something, build something.
In your base, you'll build a sacrificial stone. You'll drag an unconscious combatant and put them on the stone. And there will be a ritual recipe in that crafting station to offer them as a sacrifice. Perform a ritual, draw their blood, and then the station will open up again and you can take the item out.
Is that volume a little better?
Necromancy, for instance, allows you to summon the dead or create undead mounts.
A couple other rituals we have are integrated into the fast travel system that we're implementing. So we have one that's kind of a set of teleporter pads, and you'll need some blood and some brimstone to fire that pad up.
Illusions basically allow you to take a weapon or a piece of armor and apply a different look to it. So if you're able to craft 2 different pieces, and you like the look of one but the stats of another, you can apply the look of one to the other. So it allows players to look how they want without sacrificing the stats that they want to have with their equipment.
We're full volume now on every front.
We've also wanted to go through and address all of the perks that we felt were sort of underperforming and sort of give them a facelift.
Essentially, we've blown up the entire system and made a new meta. We have some great surprises, and we are really changing the way that Conan Exiles plays on all of the attributes.
Corruption is a core part of sorcery, so we wanted that to also impact the attribute system. When your character is exposed to corruption, it'll corrupt their form and their whole physical being. With that power, you can corrupt your physical self in order to gain access to special perks. Once you've reached a certain corruption threshold, your character will be able to corrupt their strength, their vitality, or their charisma into improving themselves. These benefits won't show themselves very powerful at first, but as you devote yourself more to the void, they'll start showing up and making you more and more powerful.
When we first started working on the game, we implemented the building system in a particular way.
But since then, a lot more survival games have come out that have made us realize, hey, we can do a little bit better.
Truthfully, I think the old building system was a little difficult to use with the gamepad. However, with this new system, it's designed to be used with the gamepad, and I think it's going to be so much easier for people.
It takes all the crafting recipes, all the building items that you've unlocked, and puts them all in one menu.
You can go to the section you want, find the piece you want, and it's a lot simpler.
The creative mode is incredible. You get this admin panel, it unlocks all the building pieces, and you can create your perfect home or castle or fortress.
A fundamental change in how you can build in the game.
It'll be really, really easy, I think, for people to build their perfect home.
Some building pieces are part of the Battle Pass and others are going to be in the shop. In the Battle Pass, we have sorcery-themed building pieces which are built to complement and supplement the existing base building sets.
The main reason we're doing the Battle Pass is so that we can continue to release free features. I'm a strong believer that monetization should be more on the cosmetic side, changing the way you look necessarily and not changing the power of things.
So the Battle Pass, you're going to get some really cool things.
New armors, weapons, mounts that are all built around the sorcery theme.
There are two ways to progress through the Battle Pass, and the first is to play the game. Every day you'll be given a series of challenges, and when you complete one of those challenges, you claim the experience from it, and then that challenge is replaced with another one. If you don't want to play to unlock everything in the Battle Pass, you can also purchase levels in increments of 1, 5, and 15. So for those of you who have less time, that option is there as well.
So we won't have cosmetic DLCs like we did in the past with the culture packs. We will have battle passes and ages instead.
We are going to have multiple sorcerer-themed armor and clothing options. Some of them will be in-game and craftable. Others will be offered as part of the Battle Pass or as part of the shop.
We're also adding an item store to the game, and this will allow players to have more of an a la carte option for what they want to buy.
Thank you, guys.
It's been a long time coming.
It's a long trailer.
With each new release of Conan Exiles, we're trying to make the kind of game that we feel like our players want to play and that we want to play.
So if you want to see more of this, definitely follow our Conan Exiles Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that.
Thank you all for all of your support and for playing our
plug.
game and enjoying it.
And I hope all of you have a great time exploring the world and finding the things to do those dark evil rituals and become the twisted sorcerer atop a tower.
Hello everyone, sorry I was being quiet for this trailer. It's about to end. And then we get into the juice. Hopefully. Hey Shadow. Yeah, sorry for that. Being quiet for the trailer on that for the people that haven't watched it yet. And there we go. Q3 2022. Go on, give us the juice, funcom. Tell us the dirty deedles. Thank you for the follow. Oh, Andy.
Hello. Greetings. Greetings
That
and
is
salutations,
fab.
friends. And thank you for joining us for the,
I love the hat.
Official talk of all things Update 3.0, Age of Sorcery. My name is Andy Bendit.
I'm Nicole.
That hat, dude.
And we are here live in the Durham, North Carolina studio. It actually has been.
Is the
quite some time.
volume
I think our
alright
last stream
and
was
everything?
8 months ago, so I'm just
I
like,
got it blasting, so.
Yep.
It's been a while.
Just trying to get back into the saddle. Haven't been in front of the camera in a little while, so pardon me if I'm a little.
It's an exciting time, though.
Yeah, plus, like, yeah, this is an exciting, like, this will be an exciting stream, this will be an exciting time.
Oh my god, the
we're gonna be
peaking,
going
man.
into a bunch of details about all things with this update.
Oh, they're using a Blue Yeti, that's why.
And working to, of course, pick up on any questions you might have in chat, or things that...
a lot of them.
Plenty, I'm sure there were plenty. We saw plenty over the weekend as well, and so we'll work to certainly address as much as we can.
Get to the dirty
during the
details,
stream.
yeah, Jade.
We're gonna go over a lot, so like buckle in. This might be a long stream. We were originally planning like maybe like an hour, hour and a half. Don't be surprised if we go over like 2 hours at this point.
Put
Yeah,
your
so today
seatbelts
we're going to be
in.
going over everything to do with the Age of Sorcery update coming up in quarter 3 2022. We'll be talking about sorcery and how
I'm a little
that
loud.
works. We'll be, of course, talking about the new building system, the revamped
Hopefully that helps.
attributes, the battle pass, and the Black Lotus Bazaar.
There we go.
Not necessarily in that order. And then we'll of course take some time to answer questions that may have come up or may come up in chat or things that we've seen. And we'll go from there. This is a really exciting time. Thanks for joining us.
So,
Any forward from you, friend, before we jump into things?
Yeah. So we know there's going to be a lot of questions about this, and if it looks like I'm reading off script a little bit today, I did prepare a lot of notes so I don't get anything wrong. Because a lot of the stuff we'll talk about today, we know for a lot of people can be touchy.
An hour.
So to talk about the Battle Pass and the Bazaar to begin with.
Yes!
As we started to get into the features that we're putting into this update, we decided that we had to have a new monetization method for Exiles. We knew that if we made Exiles, it had to be free. Or sorry, if we made Sorcery, it had to be free, and it had to be for everybody. So we didn't want to have to make a DLC and ask you to pay for a feature that should be part of the core fantasy of the game.
So Sorcery is free?
We decided we'd have to create an update that can both ship the Sorcery and generate revenue at the same time. And we decided to develop these features to support the future of the product as well. We do want to move Exiles into being more of a fully supported games as a service kind of product, and this helps meet that end. So if you're an Exiles player now, and probably a lot of you are, there aren't a lot of ways when it comes to DLC for you to get your hands on new content. We've released a handful of culture packs that give you an assortment of armor and building pieces and other miscellaneous cosmetics. But for the most part, there isn't a lot of opportunity.
A lot of people think it's 10 cents why they're doing this, by the way.
So these new systems will let us offer more items at a faster rate and let you pick and choose the things that you actually want to get. So whenever a new pack of stuff comes out, maybe you don't really care about the building pieces and you just like to get the armor or the weapons. And that'll be your choice with these pathways. And there are no paywalls in our system. Nothing will prevent you from experiencing any content in the game. We'll not sell power in the shop of any kind. It'll only be novelties.
Take note,
there's no
people.
need to buy anything if you don't want to. I've put a lot of effort into this personally to make it as non-intrusive or non-invasive as possible. And we'll go over more of the details of all these things as we get into it more
Indeed.
as well.
Only cosmetic.
Something I kind of wanted to point out also is that it's actually like super like non-intrusive. The battle pass stuff is like it's just like in a corner of the screen, which you'll see in just a second. So let me
we have a lot to show off.
Let me pull this up just really quick.
And like I'll be looking down
see.
a lot. I've got my laptop here, reading everybody's chat. We also have some of the community team in chat, so they'll be there to help any.
They look really stressed out, I can tell you that.
So let's see. Okay, so here is.
Oh, here we go.
What the battle pass will look like. You might have seen this in the trailer that we just aired. Dennis, can you walk us through like kind of what we're looking for, clarify things, or if there are any questions that we had seen previously, if there's anything you want to touch on from here.
Yeah, I think the first thing to talk about is just like a tiny disclaimer that all the stuff that's in the trailer and even things we're showing on stream today are still a work in progress. So we have a little disclaimer in the corner of the stream.
Disclaimer.
We had to, make the trailer to show everything to everyone to get them excited about it, but a lot of the details that you go in and fish and check out will be a little bit off for what they would be in the end. I know a lot of things that people do ask about in terms of the shop itself is like, are these the prices, and the prices themselves are even still a work in progress. I had a conversation about it.
I agree, they should sponsor mod makers.
But yeah, looking at the battle pass, what we're seeing here is basically
hey, Raz.
Similar to what you would see in a battle pass in other games, where you have a series of rewards. You interact with the game and you engage with the systems like you normally would to receive the rewards in the battle pass. As you play through and get that experience from finishing the challenges, you'll unlock battle pass levels.
Chicken emote.
And those levels will let you claim the rewards if you own the battle pass. If you don't own
We
the
have that
battle
in
pass,
game,
there will
though.
still be about 12 rewards in this pool of 60 that'll be completely free. So even if you're not paying into the battle pass to get all the rewards, there's still some little novel things you can pull out of it.
And then like you can see so these are the first two like pages of the battle pass, and so you can see a few examples of the items that are pretty clearly marked as free. So you don't need to actually like have the battle pass if you want to like level up your pass and like get those, for example.
So you're only allowed If you don't want to pay money, you're only
And then,
allowed
yeah,
the
all
items
this
that
stuff is
say
accessible from
free
like, the
on
very top
them.
menu there, and so it's just an option that you can just select.
So you can get an
once
eye
you-
patch,
once
a
you go to that
wall, and
menu.
some
I can
orbs.
go into a bit about the structure of the battle pass also.
Sure.
The way that we'll lay things out. So whenever we decided again that we wanted to put a battle pass in, to me it felt very important that we try to
Partially
integrate that with
free.
the world and the
Paid
story
for.
of Exiles as much as possible. There are a lot of games that have a battle pass and it's just kind of this tacked on monetization thing that's in there, and I was like, if we do this and we make it part of the game, we should try to make it part of the world too. So with every battle
Right.
pass, you'll see as you scroll through the pages, there will be a series of tableaus that unfold and tell a story about something that has happened or happening in one of the maps. So the current one for Age of Sorcery is a series of events that is occurring in the exiled lands. And as you go through and complete the different pages of the battle pass, the little text doc, there's a little scroll up in the corner and some text will reveal and kind of lead you along what the story is.
Okay.
That's the stuff in the very top. Well, okay, you can't. Anyway, way in the top left of our screen there, you can see it's a bunch of gibberish, but that will start materializing into legible language as you complete more of the battle pass.
Yeah, to go along with the idea of sorcery being
We don't know if they're any
as you learn
unofficial
more about
yet.
it, it's kind of a sort of archaic or like otherworldly kind of language, I suppose. And as you're unlocking this experience in the battle pass, you're gaining the knowledge to read the runes. And so the structure for the battle pass is going to be such that we have ages, like Age of Sorcery, and then each age will be broken down into several chapters. And those chapters will be where we hit the big content updates. With each one of those chapters, we'll not only be adding new things in the shop and new rewards in the battle pass, but we will be adding new playable content or major updates to existing content at the same time. So
Will they
whenever we
be
do an
free,
update, it's not just
though?
going to be, oh, here's more stuff to buy. It's going to be, okay, here's also some new stuff to do. So that's the way we'd like to follow through with that going forward.
Yeah, and all those like major gameplay features, like we're committing to not having that will be just added to the game as like part of the base game. That
Exactly.
You don't have to you don't have to buy anything.
Yeah.
To gain access to that, just like sorcery, right? So like there'll be a battle pass, but like anything new and exciting we do add, like that'll be available for everyone.
Yeah, a big part of the reason we wanted to go down this route is because it lets people opt in and support us when they want to, or just if they see something really cool they want to have. And then that helps us actually fund further development of the game so we can make all of our other features coming out free for everybody and really justify continuing to support Conan Exiles, because it's a game we love. The team that works on Exiles wants to keep working on Exiles.
New stuff to
We
buy,
want to keep
yeah.
adding stuff to it. But we have to be able to justify it at the end of the day, Like Andy said, we have to keep the lights on.
Yeah. We got to keep the lights on. This is all. We have a lot of amazing, like talented designers and artists and all sorts of people working here. But at the end of the day, yeah, we got to keep the lights on. Gotta stay fed, et cetera, et cetera. So. So thank you for that.
All right. I get that. That's
and so
fine.
next, I wanted to touch into. So you had mentioned challenges. That is the primary method of how one would level up the battle pass, correct?
I'm hoping they go
So
over
we'll
this a
swap
little
over to
bit more
this.
later, because I still feel like there's a lot
There's
of
a lot of details
questions
for
with
challenges
Battle
as well.
Pass.
I know, like a lot of questions have been raised about them already as well.
It's a bit brief.
And I have a list of some stuff that I'd like to go through just so I don't miss anything.
Yeah.
The battle pass
Thanks,
can be
Commando.
The battle pass can be progressed by completing challenges. Challenges give battle pass experience and levels, and as you progress through the battle pass levels, you can claim the rewards, as I mentioned before. There are 60 rewards in our battle pass at present.
That's good.
And if you don't own the battle pass, you can still earn about 12 of those rewards, like I mentioned before. Owning the battle pass lets you claim everything at no additional cost. So there is a cost to purchase the battle pass, and once you spend that amount of money, you'll be able to claim everything for each level that you unlock.
So
There's also a premium battle
you're
pass.
missing out on 48
that
items if you don't pay for the battle
all
pass.
it does on top of the normal battle pass is grant you 15 additional levels. So as soon as you buy it, you get 15 unlocks right away, no matter where you're at. The levels are linear, so there'll always be 1,000 experience to complete. There's no increased grind the further you go.
Right.
You can also buy additional levels with Crom coins if you don't want to do challenges to gain the XP. And now to look at the menu for some of the stuff that we have. Every 24 hours, you'll get XP multipliers on each slot that's available to you. So you can continue to complete those challenges for normal XP once those multipliers are gone. So that 2x times 150, 2x times 30, etc. that you see at the top, those are the multipliers you get. and you get 5 a day, like I said. It can pull up to 20 in the back end as well. So you can miss 4 days of playing the game, come back, and still have 25 total multipliers to be able to go through and do all the challenges.
So you can farm these all day long if you want to, basically.
To prevent you from falling behind.
That's what I'm understanding.
You can also reroll challenges. I know one of the questions someone asked was, can you pay for rerolls? But I think that here...
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so this... Those are dice now.
Yeah, the icon in the video was temporary. It was a copy over from the shop where you can purchase Crom coins. And we've done a lot of work on the UI since then to make things more clear where things can be bought and can't. Similarly, with the remaining XP boosters thing up in the corner, I changed that text to say XP multipliers remaining because it sounds less like something that you can buy. And we don't really want the people to have the illusion that we're just trying to nickel and dime people and hit you with as many like microtransactional dark patterns as we possibly can. That's not the case.
Right.
We avoid them as much as we possibly can.
Yeah. So don't worry. I know. Yeah, that was definitely something that came up.
All right.
In addition to that, so like there's the multipliers, but then once you use up your day's multipliers, like you can still like infinitely complete challenges.
Yeah, if that's the thing that like, you're motivated to do because it gives you a goal or something you want to do, the challenges are there for you to keep going through them. You just won't get that multiplier. Another artifact of the past is that these all say 2x on them. So I know some people have already done the math to try to figure out how long it would take you to finish the battle pass. Those values, the XP values, haven't changed, I believe. We might have brought the bottom end up, so I think 30 is no longer the minimum.
It's a lot of grinding.
I can clarify all this later, or guys can just see it when it comes out.
Yeah, it's all subject to change still, anyway.
There's that, and the multipliers are going to be 10x by default now too, so it's going to be much faster than you would have calculated based on the release video, the teaser video.
Okay.
I do also have information on how long we expect it to take to complete the battle pass, but I'll get to that when I get to it.
It's 10 times 30. That's 300 XP per combo.
The battle pass can be completed purely by finishing challenges, so you'll never be asked to pay again after you buy the battle pass. If you complete the majority of the battle pass, and I think this is up to like level 57 or somewhere abouts, you'll be refunded for the cost of the battle pass throughout the progression through it. So you see in some points on the track we give you Crom coins. Those in the end will total up to be the entire cost of the battle pass. So theoretically, if you buy one battle pass the first time and you complete all of them up to that point that you participate in, you will always get your Crom coins back and be able to buy the next one at no additional cost. It's like you buy the battle pass once, as long as you don't spend those Crom coins, you can keep buying each successive battle pass.
I wonder how grindy it's going to be, though.
And we'll be keeping an eye on the progress that everyone makes in the battle pass. If we feel it's taking too long for too many people, we can tweak the XP multiplier on challenges or the XP values in the back end and speed things up for people to help them.
And that won't require like a patch or whatever either.
That's right. It'll be a change on our side that just automatically goes out to everybody. When you get new challenges, you'll get the new data and you'll be able to keep up with everybody else. We base the amount of time needed to complete the battle pass on someone being active twice a week for at least an hour per session. So most of the challenges you get will be completed when playing normally, and you'll get, if you get challenges that you don't think you complete, that option to reroll is there as well. I believe right now we give 3 rerolls per day, and 1 reroll changes all of the challenges. So
I hope
if there's
they
something in
don't
that list of 5
make
that,
you pay for
anything
rerolls
in that list of 5 doesn't suit what you want to do,
Yeah.
you have 3 chances a day to just completely get rid of those and look for something else that's more suited to what you might want to do.
No pay? Or pay?
And I think that's pretty much the majority of what I have to say about the challenges at the moment.
Cool.
There's a lot of, one of the notes you left was there's a lot of really cool exclusive rewards like war paints, wall sprays, placeables, building pieces, emotes. There's a lot of awesome stuff in there.
Yeah. Wait, so wall sprays are new, right?
Yeah, it's essentially a really quick little R&D thing we did where we were like, hey, it would be cool to be able to place decals on the wall or on the floor, or just be able to.
It's gonna be like Gary's mod,
so
man.
It's kind of just a little thing you make at the dyer station, and the bench, and you can just spray like an image of a rhino on a wall or something like that.
I want to put a big willy on the wall. No rhino.
Oh,
big
also,
willy on the wall.
illusions
Let's
are a
go.
really good thing to talk about.
Yes, we can talk about that. Let me pull that up. Actually, that's under my other stuff. But let's show that off now.
And we have a lot of questions, and We'll probably answer, I mean, not all of them, but as we go through. But we may have questions at the end, maybe, if we have time.
Yes, certainly, I think. And then certainly we'll work to answer questions, or like, you know, as we're progressing through like our points, hopefully we are able to answer some questions that may have already come up. But if you see anything particularly pertinent or being asked a ton, don't be afraid to just like bring it up, and we can be fine with that.
Private servers
that I saw a lot was if this is just official or if it's also for private.
Yeah, so the Battle Pass and the shop will be on all servers of all types. They'll be on official servers, private servers, modded servers, and single player. No matter where you play, you'll be able to participate in the Battle Pass and purchase things from the shop if you want to.
Oh
Sweet.
no!
What we have up right now is actually the upcoming weapon illusion system.
You just turned a normal sword into a katana, is that what I just saw?
Set that up.
Oopsie.
Okay. So, we're adding an illusion system to the game. And so, at one of the new stations that you can build, I believe it's called the Thaumaturgy Bench, here, you can make a weapon look like a different weapon. Now, there are some restrictions to that. They have to be of a like type. So, like, you can't make a short sword look like an axe or like a hammer or something like that. And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, you have to be able to craft the item that you want to take the appearance of normally.
Yeah,
I don't think it's working at the moment.
You do have to be able to craft the item that you want to use the appearance of.
Quite.
Unless you use one of the illusion items that we've made. So one of the things that you might get for free in the shop or in the Battle Pass will be an illusion item that we can just take something we think looks really rad and people will like to see or check out, and we can make a version of it that you can use in the Thaumaturgy Bench, even if you don't know how to make the item. So here you can see in the video it says these items aren't compatible.
Yeah, because I'm trying to take
you don't know how to.
Well, it's because it's a different type of weapon. So I'm taking I'm taking a steel short sword and trying to make it look like the Yamatai Naginata, different types of weapons. But then I swap. I take the appearance of the Yamatai Assassin's Blade, which is a one-handed sword, which then can take the appearance.
Reskinning
so that's the only restriction is it has to be, like Andy said, the same type. You can make any two-handed axe look like any two-handed axe. You can make any chest piece look like any chest piece. All you have to do is know how to make this bench and know how to make the items that you want to combine.
So maybe you have to go and get the BPs for this one.
So that's a cool thing that we're going to be adding, and then also like kind of gives us extra options to like throw in as goodies here and there. Also, like if really make some like really cool weapons in the future.
I like this change. This is good. I like it.
Potentially just like have the illusion items in addition to like actual crafting recipes or something like that. Yeah. Just as an example, but this will be a system that will launch
it's
with
fashionist.
the update.
While we still have people, I want to throw in one clarification.
Everyone's just leaving now.
Well,
that's fine.
At some point, as soon as we start answering more questions, we'll have less people, right? But while everyone's still here, our monetization expert wanted me to chime in and say that the amount of time we base our play sessions on being 1 hour is not 1 hour doing challenges. It's 1 hour of a normal play session, expecting that you will naturally complete the majority of those through normal play.
That is good clarification.
I don't know if I killed 10 goats in one go.
It's okay. We've covered a lot of the stuff at the Battle Pass, a lot of stuff at challenges, illusion system. Is there anything else?
To be honest, if you're grinding for the Battle Pass, you're going to be going for those challenges individually. You're not going to be just doing it gradually.
All right, cool.
For the most part.
Where did I put that? Shot.
But if it is like they said, it shouldn't be too bad. So that's good to hear. If you wanted to grind on it, paid or free.
This is the Black Lotus Bazaar. FPO stands for for placement only. It's just a placeholder. Don't worry about it.
Work in progress.
Yeah, it's all work in progress. Like that's it's not some anyway. Yeah, it just means placeholder. So yeah, this is certainly something that another thing that we've seen plenty of comments about, and so we're hoping to be able to allay any concerns you might have about just how this works.
Age of Sorcery,
I think
June
one of the biggest
21st?
things to touch on is that stuff in the shop doesn't go away.
I don't think so.
It does have a
they
timeline
got like still in development at the bottom.
The reason we have a shop set up like this right now is because the back catalog of
I'd be
items that we
worried if
have
they did
will not be
release it
so
today.
extremely large that it makes a lot of sense to have a lot of categories where you filter in a lot of stuff. So in order to be able to get everything cycled through and have everyone have their eyes on it, it makes more sense for us to just be able to show a few items at a time and be able to really showcase how cool they are. Because like with a lot of these, you can see we've got some really cool art made to show them off. Like the sandstone set one at the bottom is down here.
Sorry, I'm just like,
I absolutely love the way this looks, and like I had this image in my head and I asked for it and got exactly what I wanted, but it's just basically like a little diorama where we can display all the stuff that's in the set and have a building made of the pieces that are included in it. And I think it looks really cool.
Honestly, if I'm going in the shop and I want to buy something in particular, I want to be able to access it all the
it's different
time.
from the battle pass. The items in it
That's just
won't
me,
be battle pass items. You can just snag bundles like cosmetic armor sets, placeables, building pieces, emotes, and the like. It'll rotate out based on the size of the preview in the shop. So the Big Daddy preview, this one lasts 30 days. The medium-sized ones over here will cycle every 2 weeks. And the smaller ones, like these two over here, rotate every 48 hours. Like we've said before, we'll never sell power in the shop. Any
I like
items,
the 2 weeks, I
weapons or
like the
armor that
month.
you get from the battle pass or from the shop will have similar stats to previous DLC armor and weapons that you've seen before, where they
That's
kind
more
of just
time
sit
than I
on
thought
the
we were
iron
going to
tier,
get.
and then you get an epic version that you can make as well.
it's like the Star Metal tier or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the plan. We don't plan to sell things that make anyone any stronger through the battle pass or the shop. It's all novelty. It's all cosmetic. It's all for fun.
And then one thing I know that came up also was when we rotate items, like they're not gone. Like the sale of the item or whatever is just being rotated. Like items will come back in rotation, like as discounted or whatever over time. Like it's never going to be like, oh, if you don't get this in 40, like one of these small ones, like it'll come back at some point.
Yeah,
just like any other sale, like in the world. So
I know some people ask too if because we're going to these like shops and battle pass that we own, if we would still have sales or discounts. But yeah, there will be sales on items in the shop, and
this is really bizarre way to do
forward,
it. I'm
see those
finding
marked off.
personally, but
I think we have maybe some images as well that show that discount, but we'll see. If you don't see it now, you'll see it very soon.
Yes, I don't have any of that loaded up here, but yeah.
I get the decision on having it.
So again, yeah, like
rotate.
If something gets
seems
rotated
a bit
out, like it'll come back at some point.
Strange to do it that way.
You won't like permanently miss out on anything that's like shown here. Hope that helps. Cool, great. That's a lot of nitty-gritty housekeeping stuff.
Valley of Chrome Coins, please.
Stuff. I know it's like edge of your seat riveting experience.
I guess
shop and battle pass
before we
stuff,
move on from the shop and battle pass
yeah.
stuff, there's actually more notes that I didn't work into.
Yeah, please.
Stuff that we touched on before. So the battle pass will be updated every 90 days. It's right around 13 weeks. So all the previous content will be removed and new content will be put in its place when the battle pass goes away. We have to the seasons that come in, not the ages will be in place for usually probably around 2 to 3 chapters, and each chapter is what will be updated every 90 days. So you have those, those 13 weeks to get the battle pass, get through everything that's in there, and then we'll put another one in its place and keep going forward with it.
In that logic,
that's kind of the update.
It's going to update every. Well. You're going to get 3 updates a year.
Pass, like I mentioned before,
on this.
We'll also be adding new content, new features, new things to do at the same time.
For the battle
already
pass.
Touched on battle passes and challenges being available on all server types. The battle pass and the shop are intended to replace the old DLC packs going forward. So if we make new culture packs or new maps, we'd always like this to be the platform that we deliver it through. I know a lot of people had that question. I think that's kind of where the question of, will I still be able to get things on sale came from.
Yeah.
I also have one question.
Yeah.
There was a question if the battle pass rewards are account-based per server.
Yeah, I saw a comment about that on YouTube as well.
That was
literally my next bullet point.
Oh, great.
I saw a comment on YouTube saying that they hope things that you pay for will be account bound, and that will be the case.
Woohoo!
Anything you buy will be available, or anything you buy will be available on any character you have or ever make. So there's only one slight exception to this rule, and it's if we add free single-use items to the shop
No.
or those free slots in the battle pass.
No,
you only
no,
get to
no,
claim
no,
those
no,
once
no,
per
no, 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 no.
character. But
Ooh.
outside of that, every other thing that you ever have will be with you.
Single
forever.
use.
And if you make a new character, then you would be able to
What do
get
you
that,
mean?
that one stack or whatever of an item, for example, on that new character.
The consumable things that you claim,
No.
you can't get those again. So
Okay.
whenever you say you complete one of the free tiers in the battle pass, and it gives you a
Oh.
cool like sword illusion, you claim
Okay.
that on that character, and that's the only time you can claim that.
Okay.
You can't go back and start the battle pass again. You get that.
I don't
item
like the
once,
sound of single-use
you get to see it, and
items
it's
on one
gone after
account,
you're done
and
using it.
Okay.
because you could lose
But everything
characters
else
so
will always be
easy.
there.
Cool.
And something was in my head about it. And
I lose my train of thought every 3
I
seconds.
really hope they don't go
Yeah,
through with that.
Yeah,
That's a
we'll
headache.
we'll wake up in a cold sweat and just be like, "Oh, that's what I wanted to say," and just like frenetically, just like tweet
Yeah.
Rogue on the Exiles account.
Oh, I actually did remember it.
Yeah,
We added a new
Yeah, you
tab
got it
in,
right.
what you guys know now is the feats menu. We've renamed the knowledge menu to make it more streamlined with the rest of the language around the system. So we added a new category in the knowledge menu that's called ancestral knowledge that has all of the stuff that you'll ever get from the shop and the battle pass all in one place.
Oh, cool.
So you'll see when you make a new character that you have all that stuff ready to go right out of the gate.
Very good. Nice and streamlined. I like it.
I think that hits all my bullet points.
I feel like they should have
Sweet,
everything
yeah.
just
were there any
account
hot
like
questions
no
that we wanted to
single-use
try
stuff.
and
It's
answer real quick
dodgy
before
that.
we get into the good stuff?
Oh yeah.
How do we feel?
Well, I mean, there's one question that's like not it. Basically, is the update going to come out to PC and console at the same date?
That's our plan at the moment. So as we've
Oh?
done most recently in the past, we're trying to keep everything in parity. So that's what we're pushing.
So
for.
console is
Yeah, I
going to
mean,
be
like-
same
and, like,
time as PC,
Unforeseen things can and often do happen.
Maybe.
So like, you know,
hopefully.
the intent is that we'll make sure that it's all like released all at the same time. But you know,
Alright,
if
that's
something
good.
comes up that we're not like, we didn't see ahead of time, like we'll let you know. Of course, we'll keep you updated on anything like that. Cool, great. All right. So
What's next? What's next?
What's next? What's next? What's next? Okay. What do we want to talk about next? Do we
Magic.
Okay.
Yay!
Yeah,
We
no
can do that.
crossplay.
It's time, folks.
Wow.
So yeah. The next update, as you might have guessed by this point, with it being titled The Age of Sorcery.
Yes, if you buy on console, it
includes
should go to your PC
sorcery.
account. Yes, that should be a thing.
It's Vader time.
Oh yes.
Especially if they're tying it to your
As I
funcom
just checked
account
Twitch
now.
chat.
There's even more.
So yeah,
You should be able to do that,
sorcery was a
like,
really
you'd think.
important like feature that we wanted to work into Conan Exiles for a very long time. It was one of our old OG promised features from back in early access, and
This is the free
we're
stuff
finally
now,
able to
so
make
this
good
is
on
what
that
you get
promise.
without paying.
And we took a lot of care to make sure that sorcery in Conan Exiles is represented in the way as accurate as possible
Sneaky
to
Jade.
Howard's original work.
Sneaky,
So like,
sneaky. I like it.
Historically throughout the Conan fiction, it tends to be much more like the world itself tends to be much more of like a low fantasy fare.
Dark.
Yeah, very dark. Sorcery in general tends to be relatively seldom seen. And is considered exceptionally dangerous to both people being affected by it and perhaps the caster or user if they're not experienced in their craft or if they're careless or reckless. And as with many things regarding, once you get a taste of, extra dimensional power, when you have like the fabric of reality like at your fingertips, power is addicting, and so you just want more. And so oftentimes sorcerers in the fiction are depicted as like power hungry.
One might say corrupt.
One might say
Right.
corrupted, indeed. Where's this thing that
Sussy,
I had? Hold on.
sussy.
You're telling me there's no broomstick riding?
No, there's no
Aw.
broomstick riding. There will not be. And so like also just keep in mind that we like sorcery and Conan Exiles will not feature like walking artillery units. You're not going to be launching.
Imagine.
Where the heck? Sorry, I'm looking through this.
Just going
thing and I
along with
can't
a
find
rocket
it.
launcher.
Anyway, yeah.
That's a really important thing with sorcery and Exiles, or in Howard's universe.
Thanks.
Is, we don't want you to be replacing combat in Exiles with sorcery. So I know there's also been a lot of concerns that this will turn into, you know, high fantasy spell flinging duels, and swords and bows and everything will be pointless, but that goes against our like the cloth we're cut from, right?
Yeah.
Like everything about Exiles is meant to be intimate, bloody melee combat.
Tentacle
and that
arms.
doesn't change even if you're a sorcerer. There are things that you can do from farther away that can influence combat, but at the end of the day, you've got to get in there and you've got to chop stuff down just like any barbarian would, because that's the nature of the universe.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to keep true in the sorcery system as well.
So maybe no battle magic.
Yeah, sorcery
in that case?
is in the world also is typically depicted as sort of like an evil, dark art.
Absolutely.
And you know, historically in fiction as well, you know, we know certain characters, certain notable characters throughout the universe have done all sorts of fun things with sorcery. So the picture behind us, also the green picture, is actually artwork from our Legacy MMO.
Oh, don't show that over and over again, man.
Of course, this is also due
It's so gritty.
from the classic Arnold Conan movie. But that's, yeah, to kind of give an example of like the sort of like kind of mood that you can expect when it comes to, you know, mastering or, you know, taking the dive into sorcery. Yeah, like you said, like you're not going to be throwing magic missiles or like,
Yeah, they're at the
like
battlefront, aren't they, Jade?
Yeah, we one of the design kind of directions that I gave, one of the tenets that when we started was that sorcery should not be a replacement for melee combat. We knew that when we made it, it should be different means to similar ends, so there will be different tools that you can use in
Utility base?
the course of your gameplay. Much more nefarious and evil tools than the ones that you currently have, but there'll be alternative ways to approach similar problems and solve those problems, and ways to use people as the means to that end, right?
Yep.
That's kind of the MO for sorcerers in Howard's universe is they don't mind taking a couple people and cutting them down if it means advancing their own power.
Yep. So you can actually see behind us.
Yeah, put the CEO on blast.
Actually is no,
I'm always in the way.
no, it's fine. It's we're all in the way. But yeah, this is like a sacrificial altar that you can then chain someone up to and then take their blood or steal their soul essence.
So dark. Oh my god.
Maybe later we'll have a specific DLC that has our models in as sacrificial altars.
The Argyle sacrifice.
Yeah. Instead of like body pillows, we sell like dev sacrificial altars. Yeah,
That's into the item shop we go.
I
There we
can
go.
just hear my CEO like ready to teleport behind me and break my neck right now. Yeah. So yeah, let's show off some examples of some of the sorcery that you may be able to cast. So this is actually also a example of exactly how the sorcery system actually like functions in the game and how you
That's
cast
cool.
or invoke various sorceries. So can you walk us through some of what we're looking at here?
I can
What's
give
that
some
do?
context to this as well. So whenever you start playing the game, you'll encounter sorcery kind of organically. Part of the
He's
story
mirrored himself.
that is being told is that sorcerers have been kind of almost in a pilgrimage style fashion sent out into different camps in
That's
the world, and you'll encounter
cool.
the sorcerers, and if and when you take them down, you might find a mysterious map, and the map will lead you to somewhere in the world.
You will get
that
more
will lead
followers
to
following
find
you
a,
because in the attributes,
scary
they
old
have
tome.
one of the
And
attributes
that
says you
tome
can have a
contains power,
+1 to your
the
followers.
essence of the corruptive power that
If I read
lets
it
you
right.
cast magical spells and perform rituals. And what you're doing whenever you read that tome is you're
Feather
learning
falling.
a language, and we call these the words of power. The words of power are used to construct
Cool.
spells. So, Andy, if you can actually snap back to that video of casting again.
Wonder how that's going to work in
Whenever
PvP
you're
though.
looking at this set of stones that's coming up, what you're actually seeing is a representation of those words, and you put those words and syllables together to build a phrase that casts a spell.
Oh.
So the words of power they're an ancient, mysterious language that at the core of its being gives you the ability to perform this magic because you've kind of absorbed that knowledge in learning it.
No worries, Commander.
So once you've gone out, you learn the system to unlock the words. I'm not going to spoil it all now because.
So this is going to be
you figure
like
out how to
going
learn all
out
the
and
words.
getting your blueprints.
You start to unlock more and more
From what I
sorcerer's
understand.
power, and you get more and more spells along the way. you'll see more of those options appear whenever you're casting spells, or you'll learn to craft more things, and you just have more tools and options available.
One thing that also you can see in the top right corner, my character has a lot of corruption.
Oh yeah,
and you'll see actually corruption is now inexorably tied to sorcery in the game now.
Very nice.
So each various spells cause additional corruption buildup on your character, up to a maximum of 50% corruption, as is currently. And different spells will increase your corruption by different amounts. You can kind of see on this example here, like obviously these values might be subject to change, but you can see here like 20% corruption, like so.
Savage.
Casting a spell, I believe.
This one requires 20%.
Requires. I'm so sorry. Okay.
So there's kind of different power tiers of spells as well, and as you go into those higher power tiers, they require more complex reagents to cast a spell. That's an important thing to know, is that casting spells does require reagents, because we want it to feel more ritualistic. We want it to feel slower paced and not like an action game where you're just pushing a button on the hotbar and flinging a spell out.
Okay, so you need a fuel to be able to do this
going into the world and
magic
collecting
stuff,
reagents,
by the sounds of it.
collecting the things you need to learn how to do the spells, all of that is part of making it feel more premeditated, more calculated, right?
Very much so, yeah.
There's going to be some grind to
as you cast
this.
spells, they generate corruption on your character. They make you more corrupt, because magic at its core is inherently evil in Howard's universe. There is no good magic. All of the magic that makes you more evil makes your corruption increase, and you can cast more powerful spells the higher your corruption is. So some of the more powerful spells that you've seen in the trailer already, like Flying the Bat Demon for an example, it requires a much higher level of corruption. So if you want to be able to do that, you are going to have to risk your body and give your health away as part of the trade-off for being able to use this power.
So you're going to be a bit of a glass cannon in that case.
And you'll see in a bit too.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, I mean, having a ton of corruption also causes your character to have very visible.
Look at that.
Your character starts to suffer like very visible side effects. Yes.
Yeah.
For allowing that corruption within your body.
That's going to be PvP game changer right there.
We added a really cool effect
lordy
on the character that makes them become more gaunt and pale. And their veins start to stand out more with like a blackened blood looking kind of effect inside them, and it's really cool.
You're gonna look moldy if you're corrupt then.
Because I know a lot of people play the game and they want to do magic and they don't want to look nasty. So we also added a spell that actually lets you hide that effect as well.
Thank goodness.
And you can turn that on and off. It actually, I believe,
I don't want to look
forever
like that.
Until you cancel it.
I don't want to look like that.
So this is the effect of being fully corrupted.
Yeah, and then this is me very conspicuously cropping the video so you don't see the dev casting window, and then there you go.
Hey.
Now you're not gross and nasty anymore. You're a
not crusty
You're a
anymore.
totally normal person, cool and good.
Someone's like, hey, that's my uncle.
All right, let's show a couple more things off
so
here.
I don't know if you would know this, Dennis, but someone was saying, like, doesn't sorcery tie into the bracelets at all? Like,
No, they fly on top of your house and then heavy attack spam you in PvP.
It is part of the story.
And put some bombs
I
down
guess
you.
I won't divulge too much of it myself, but I'll give you the high level.
Ooh.
The high level is there's a new shadowy, sneaky figure in the Exiled lands. He has found a way to cast magic despite the bracelets.
Ooh.
And beyond that, I think I'll leave it up to our creative lead, or our content lead, Matt, to give more details later.
Juicy.
Sorry, I will try to talk louder. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
I can
Don't
turn
press
up.
the mic,
Okay.
you're fine.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't do that.
So I know we'll talk more about this probably, but someone had a question about regards to the impact that 3.0 will have on modding. I don't know if we're going to touch on that later or.
I can talk about it a little bit now.
Okay,
but,
sure.
One big thing is we do have a relatively large window of time prepared for modders to be able to get their mods ready.
That's good.
I can't say exactly how long it will be because that might give away or set precedent for what we expect our launch date will be and also our test live date. But we will go to test live. We will have a version of the dev kit that'll be ready to update mods. And there will be ample time for people to update mods before the game goes live. On top of that, the moddability of the systems involved in sorcery is high. So we knew that when we made this, Other people would either want to strip stuff out of it or add their own.
That's
or,
exciting.
change
I like
it,
this.
Create their own
This is good.
spells. It's all moddable.
Yes! That's a win for the
It's gonna be
modders.
available on SIPTA as well. Like,
Win!
Yeah, that's right.
Cool,
Yeah.
yeah.
Everything that you see in 3.0 in this Age of Sorcery update will be on both maps.
Nice. SIPTA and in Exiled Lands.
What we're seeing here is one of the spell called Darkness, which creates a localized like darkness, for lack of a better term, and also spawns a whole bunch of these spider webs all around throughout the area, which can cause a character to become ensnared. You can use local light sources for your character to see through the darkness, like this torch, or maybe the wisp that you saw earlier. And if you step out of the area, you can still see the area of effect and where the darkness was cast off in the distance. And as you approach it, you will simply walk back into the darkness until the effect ends, and it lasts like a minute or two or something along those lines right now.
Yeah, some more cool details about this spell actually are that there is local light on your character that lets you see in the darkness better than other people see in it. And if there are NPCs in the darkness area, when you cast it, they'll actually start to cower in fear. And you can kind of go through and start to dismantle camps and kill things and take it apart methodically.
Oh, damn.
Instead of just hitting one guy and aggroing everything in a half-mile radius.
That's gonna be really good.
And
oh my
kind
God,
of to touch on your part about making sure that sorcery feels like it's something that you want to like premeditate and calculate. Because of the kind of casting time or the process, like you definitely kind of want to do these things a bit ahead of time. And also some spells will, when you cast it, at least in my experience, I was a ways away from some mobs that weren't aggroing me, and as soon as when I cast the spell, they're like, you, and they just started running at me.
The one that you used was specifically to detect, to like get the attention of enemies.
That one, yes.
Yeah, so...
But I did that with invisibility too, and I cast invisibility, and the gray ones were like, and they just immediately came after me because I was too close to them when I cast it.
Oh yeah,
so maybe that was a bug, I don't know.
No, invisibility does decrease the senses of enemies around you as well.
Maybe a bit of bug fixing to do.
You can get closer to them, but you can't get right in their face. If you get too close, they will still attack you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, someone from chat was wondering if spells stack at all, so if you cast darkness and then invisibility, or...
Some spells do, some spells don't. So there are big ones that are big environmental changes, like we have a lightning storm that will just blast lightning bolts down at enemies below.
Jesus!
We have that darkness spell. We have another one called Call of the Dead that raises this deathly fog out of the ground, and zombies will fight alongside you. Those big ones that have an impact on the environment are specific to one area. If someone casts a lightning storm and you cast Call of the Dead underneath it, the lightning storm will go away, because we can only allow one major environmental spell in the area.
Oh, so you can't
but if you
spam
cast darkness
it.
and you cast invisibility, yeah, you can run into darkness invisible.
Oh, wow.
Let's see here.
Should be sneaking along. I can see it now.
So talking about other things that can affect the environment as well, there's this fun one called the Ice Bridge, which has some really, I think, some interesting tactical implications. Of course, I'm up here on this ridiculous height, just to show an example of how one could use, like a really basic example of how one could use an ice bridge to cross a chasm.
I wonder how far that goes.
The ice bridge is destructible, as far as I'm
aware.
Well,
it goes really far.
And so, yeah,
the bridge is on the other side.
If you want.
Yeah, you can just whack it with a weapon. If an enemy puts an ice bridge up, you can smack it and strike it down. Similarly with the Bat Demon. By the time you guys get it, it'll be working the way it's supposed to.
Right.
If you shoot someone on a Bat Demon with an arrow, it'll knock them off right away.
Cool. Okay.
Oh, so you have your
NPCs can hit people on the Bat Demon pretty consistently as well. I was testing it at the little undead camp next to the sinkhole the other day, and the archers there were just annihilating me with arrows while I flew around it.
Very good.
And then, as far as I'm aware, we don't have any plans to wipe servers, right?
No.
I don't think so.
No, everything that we put in will just be an addition on top of the game that's already there. It won't change anything about, your character itself at a fundamental level that requires a wipe, or your base at a fundamental level. When we get back into the perk and attribute revamp later, one thing to talk about is we will do an attribute wipe. So whenever you log in, it'll tell you your attributes have been reset, and you can just automatically go in and set them back up.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about the specifics of the perk.
For yellow potion right there.
Here I'm showing off one of the sorceries called Detect Resources, which basically gives you like a map hack that shows you all sorts of uncommon or like mineable resources in a pretty wide area.
I can see someone getting
so
hacked.
You can use this like if you're in a particularly like mineral dense area, for example, and you don't know, you want to see where like all the bits were.
No.
You can use that to.
The hackers are now gonna have X-ray vision.
Yeah, each resource has a different color and a little effect that appears.
No,
so you can
it's
learn
cool.
the
It's
colors,
cool. I
learn
like
the
it.
silhouettes, and know what you're seeing.
This fun little lad is a demonic portal. This is one of the new buildings that you can create.
Oh yeah.
With the update.
I'm interested on this.
I love the effect. What does it do?
So it's a personalized fast travel system. You don't need to absolutely rely on the map room to get around, and for people playing on SIPTA and modded maps especially, this will be a great way to be able to actually move around the map. It acts as like a placeable, any other placeable or crafting station you would put in your in a base. So you'll have to maintain it. It'll have to have land claim and decay rules applied to it. But basically, any number of these that you create for your clan will be able to access each other. And when you step inside the portal, some stones will appear and show you the names of the buildings as you've placed them out. And the stones actually point to those buildings in space. So if I'm at New River and I'm looking one at the volcano, the stone will be pointing north toward the volcano. And, it'll give you an indication of which direction you're going whenever you go.
So you can have unlimited of
and
these.
You can link multiple of these together. Any that your clan builds will all be linked together.
Oh my goodness me.
So that's just a little taste of some of the sorceries to come.
Damn, okay.
I do want to then move into talking a little bit about how corruption, so moving into the perk system, which we just mentioned.
I'm a bit on the PvP side with this, but PvE, this is very, very good.
The ability to corrupt your perks, and in addition to that. So first we're going to give a little context of the upcoming perk revamp, and then also show you an example of what corrupting those perks actually looks like.
Oh yeah.
So first, we're going to show this off here. Actually, let me do a quick edit. And then, nope.
Have fun, Chris.
And then that. Showing off the new perk system. So, as Dennis said, you're gonna not lose all your, but you're gonna have all your perks or all your attributes reset.
Oh, that's much better.
And then you'll be greeted now with this updated perk window. Some of the names are out of date in this video. At the time that it was taken, I believe Charisma is now called Leadership. As of the most recent internal build, as far as I know, and I don't know about building, but that should be. Anyway, still in development. So, one of the main goals of the perk revamp was
no more spamming.
What?
On the click button.
To talk about.
The leadership.
Yeah. So, because there's a lot of people that pointed this out, Savage is gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
No Savage, but
the new names actually bring Savage back.
Yeah.
So,
Charisma is now Authority.
Authority.
So that becomes the A where Grit is now. Grit moves down, and Craftsmanship is something that starts with an E. We just changed these names a couple of days ago, so it's really hard for me to remember.
Yeah.
But
it'll be encumbrance, right?
Maybe if Quaglon's watching, he can drop me the
expertise?
Expertise?
Is it expertise?
I think it is.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So Savage is back.
So everyone that was sad to see Savage gone, Savage is back.
Okay, Savage, right?
Yeah.
Savages, like
right, because we did cut survival off the bottom.
Right.
I guess there's a ton to talk about with perks and attributes specifically. So, is there anywhere you want to start?
Gosh, I mean, I know.
Or would you like me to start?
Either way is fine. I mean, I know that with the revamp, one of the main goals was to make it more like a one-to-one sort of experience, where like each level you get one attribute point that you can put in. So that makes things a lot easier in my eyes to like kind of plan your builds better or like calculate your builds better. And then in addition to that, while streamlining the process. You can see here that we're also now adding a choice of perks when you level up your attribute sufficiently.
So you get to pick one or the other.
Example here, you get, you see everything up. Okay, my hand got cut
on the
you see
brown and the
at the very
green.
top, and then you get the choice, and then when you get the third perk, you get to choose that, and then the fourth one is another choice, and you can see the choosing option here. And that goes for all the attributes on the list. Is there anything else that I'm missing here?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much touched on it. The whole idea here is to really shake up what's available in terms of character customization and progression, and make it easier to plan for stuff. So that's why we went down to 60 points total, because the level cap is still 60. You get 1 point every time you level. Now it's easier to plan out how you can build stuff.
That's a lot better.
Do I want to do like
That's a lot better.
and max out 2 of them and then have 2 at 10 points each, or do I want to split one of those 10s into 2 5s? And we tried to make the choices at the 10 and 20 level a hard choice to make. So you're really deciding between like 2 very, impactful things whenever you get to those points. And we hope that leads to a lot of variety in builds. And right now when you play, there's kind of like 3 builds that you might use depending on which activity you're doing. For the most part, it's pretty fixed. So changing this and allowing more customization, a little more personalization, I think will make you feel more like you own your character, and it'll let you do more of the stuff you want to do instead of just doing what's there because there's no option.
Yeah, and like allowing for really giving you the option to like each of those perk choices, like you said, is like very I want to say the word like specialized. So it's like they're 2 like really powerful options.
See you, Chris.
But of course, picking one locks you out of the other one until you respec. And so you have to like make one of those hard decisions that I like to make when I'm min-maxing my character, or thinking I'm min-maxing my character, of like which direction I want to go.
Yeah.
We have some questions on like how weight or encumbrance is handled.
So it's actually built into that expertise
I thought the
perk
sound
by
clipped out
default,
then.
Which is craftsmanship on this screen or
that's
video, but
right.
yes.
Yeah. So, but we added minor bonuses to all of the attributes as well. So if you invest in strength, you'll also get some more encumbrance as well too, because obviously it makes sense that someone who's more strong should be able to carry more.
Right.
So encumbrance will still be on that. It'll be on that bottom attribute that you see here. We increased the amount of encumbrance that you get per point, and this actually goes towards all of the attributes. Like the amount of strength that you get at the end of spending 20 points in strength now is similar to the amount that you would have got from spending 50 points in the old system. It's just squashed down. So you gain a lot of power a lot faster. It's a little more front loaded.
That is a lot better.
But in the end, you'll still reach about the same amount of power.
Okay. And 2 other really quick questions.
Yeah.
You may touch on this. I don't know. Will armor and weapons give attribute points?
That's important because
I was just looking up like good call.
Yeah,
thank you.
It also goes into this build system as well. So previously, whenever you put on armor, it would add attributes, and then it kind of muddied the picture of what you were really spending your personal development points in, because you might not really realize, I put on this chest and it gave me strength, and I take it off and now I don't have one of the perks I had before. So we took the attribute points themselves off of weapons and armor, and we added the derived stats. So you can see in the strength preview, it says that strength adds strength weapon damage and additional carry weight. Whenever you get a piece of armor that would have had strength before, now it'll have strength weapon damage. So you get what the stat what is derived from that stat on the armor piece directly, instead of getting the attribute, which then gives you the stat.
That's
At the end
a
of the
bit
day,
confusing.
you're getting the same stuff, but the picture of what your attribute points are spent doing is much more clear.
Mm-hmm.
And then are people's attributes going to be reset upon once the update's out, or I assume?
Yeah.
But okay.
When you log in, you'll get a pop-up. It'll be like the first thing you see that your attributes have been reset, and then you can just go right back into the menu and start fishing out what you want to spend them on.
Great.
Yep. Also of note, we are also going to be resetting a lot of binds, I think, with the update.
Yeah,
I believe it's important housekeeping. Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Because a lot of things have changed in terms of input and how you control the game, as far as like specifically building is one of the big ones. But along with that, we've made changes that let you kind of double bind inputs or customize your bindings a lot more. So like right now, if you don't want the crouch button to make you let go when you're climbing, you can change just the stop, like the stop climbing button, and crouch and have those be separate buttons. So we decoupled everything and made a lot more customization available.
Yes.
But as a result, we need to set everybody back to the beginning, so there's no confusion about why is this button opening a menu, and like,
it will be pain, but it will be good pain, I guess.
And making me
in that regard
jump all at the same time, or whatever wacky bindings might occur if we didn't reset them.
Yeah. So
That's fair enough.
Sorry in advance, but
Fair
yeah,
enough.
just know that you'll have to redo a lot of your binds. And just so you know,
Take
yeah, all
snapshots,
this
people.
stuff, like all the opening your attributes, your inventory, all that, it's tabbed now.
Oh yeah.
Whoa.
No more I to open the inventory. It's you know, a little more keyboard friendly,
Yeah,
being
just-
that I is a keyboard button. We changed it all to tab to open.
I
it.
Evidence
like
right there.
I.
Exactly.
What do you
So,
mean?
It's gonna take a hot second to get used to.
yeah. Muscle memory, I know, is a very powerful thing, but yeah. So all that stuff you see at the top there will just be opened up with the tab
What do
button
you
now.
mean?
I think the defaults too are that I think it's Shift Q and Shift E to switch between the tabs at the top.
Okay, cool.
So you don't tab through the tabs. Once you open the menu, you have other shortcuts to go through those menus.
Right.
Sweet.
Why would you take it
Thank
off
you. And then,
I, dude? That makes
Real quick, also, we had mentioned that there will also be a way to corrupt your perks.
Oh,
it's
sorry.
so
There's
sweet.
one
Corruption.
quick
Yeah.
thing. People are really a lot of questions about bow builds, like with accuracy.
I can rebind
and
it
how
though,
that
it's
is
good.
now Changed.
Yeah, that's an important thing. Good question. So
I
we
am
took all
mad.
the weapons in the game and we put them in one of two categories. A weapon is now either primarily a strength weapon or an agility weapon. So if you want to be a character that is primarily, you know, an agile, sneaky jerk who runs around and stabs things in the back,
Love it.
you don't even need to invest in strength anymore if you don't want to. You can just invest in agility and then spend the rest of your points in all the utility and survival-based things and the other attributes.
Oh.
That being said, you can invest in strength, and if you do, you'll get about an extra 10% damage on top. But the vast majority of the damage for those agile weapons will come from agility. Bows are
Right.
included as agile weapons, and you will get increased damage from increasing agility. There is no more, as you can see, no more accuracy attribute. It's all rolled into agility together.
So accuracy is
Cool.
now
Clapping.
So many
agility
people are like, I'm a sneaky jerk.
as well.
Yeah,
Sneaky
me
jerk.
too. Rogue main, by the way. Sorry, guys.
I'm just a jerk. Period.
No.
I'm more of the bunga bunga.
Yeah.
That's pretty sus.
And you
big
can
pun.
unga strength out as much as you want.
Hell yeah,
And
good.
you know, be just as strong as you were before. If you also put points into agility, just like agility gets more damage from strength, strength gets more damage from agility as well. There's about an extra 10%.
So if you want to go for a strength build,
shave there, you can
strength
get.
agility.
But it comes at a cost, because if you spend
Oh.
those full 20 points into agility just to get a little more damage, you lose a lot of utility and vitality, grit, you know, all the other attributes.
You get an
have
extra
a
20
lot to
really,
offer
so you get one
find.
more. Because if it's 20 per bar, you would have an extra 20 to spend on
corrupted perks.
a full other tree
So
of
in
something
addition
else.
to this new perk system and tying into the like increased kind of emphasis on corruption and importance of corruption, like in like the general gameplay of Conan Exiles, once you hit a certain threshold of corruption on your character, you then gain the opportunity to then corrupt your perks. It's cut off by the logo at the very top there, but you'll see. Actually, hold on, let me.
I wonder
gonna
if you
do it
still
right.
keep your
But you can see the
previous
little
perk though.
pop-ups here, little soul remnants. Yeah, these guys, these little soupy green bottles. Those are soul remnants, and so you can use the sacrificial altar, which you saw on our intro screen, to throw someone on there and harvest their soul.
Yeah.
And then when you take their soul, that
Oh.
becomes a consumable like reagent to then go ahead and corrupt your perk of choice. And I believe, at least right now in this example, each perk point or each attribute point that you want to add corrupt costs 1 soul remnant.
So does that mean if you want to fully
But as you
corrupt a
move,
tree, you're going
as
to
you
need to
corrupt
kill
your
20
attribute,
fools?
you'll notice that the perks will also change into special
That
corruption
could get grindy.
only perks. And so yeah, we're just showing strength again in this example, but you'll see that the first tier of perk from strength transforms into something that scales with corrupted strength, and then the second option then turns into what no evil villain in the Conan world is complete without a good old kick.
Good mule kick.
Good old mule kick.
And you
Hell
don't-
yeah.
You don't keep your original perk, right? It gets overwritten by.
That's
the
right.
perk.
You
Oh.
corrupt your body. You corrupt your very self, and
Yeah.
any attribute your character or your person would have had from being strong before, it's kind of wiped away and replaced with this little more twisted version of
Yeah.
this.
And,
Yeah.
and
Could be
sorry,
good or
No,
bad then.
Please.
Doing
When it
that.
comes to dancers and entertainers,
Mm.
so what's the deal with that?
Like things that reduce corruption.
Yeah. So they still do what they did before.
Ah.
One of the caveats with corrupting yourself with the attribute system, when you do corrupt attributes, your character will start to gain uncleansable corruption. So this
Ooh.
character in the example here, corrupting an attribute halfway would mean that 25% of their health bar is uncleansable. You can still gain more corruption beyond that point. You can still go up to 50%, but 25% of that will be removable. If you max out any one of these attributes fully corrupted, you will have a permanent 50% corruption on your character, which means you can never go above 50% health.
Oh,
so that's the cost. That is the cost of corruption. It comes at the cost of your health, the cost of your stamina, but it gives a extreme amount of power. This is kind of really like a glass cannon build when you max out your strength like this, because you throw all your health away, but you start to do massive damage with that first corruption perk that lets you deal more damage the more corruption you have, or the more corrupted your attribute is. And that can be cleansed with, the standard mains, any of the standard potions that'll reset your attributes. You can remove the permanent corruption and become cleansable again.
Okay, so you can cleanse it.
If you want to re-corrupt your attributes, then you would have to harvest more souls to be able to corrupt your thing, go through that process. But if you don't want to live with the consequences of your decisions.
every time you drain a soul from a thrall, it'll give you 5 soul essence. So
you get 5
it takes
per
4
thrall.
lives to corrupt your body. That's the price of maximum corruption is.
Okay, that's not as bad. Not as bad.
And then can you preview the corrupted perks, or
you can't preview them right now?
Okay.
And it's pretty much an in-theme, like an in-universe theme kind of decision, right? Like, if you are dedicated to this dark magic, you kind of trust in it that it will give you the power that you're asking of it. And I know that there will be a wiki page up.
Yeah, within like a minute.
Within 5 minutes of the Test Live patch that has all of them. But in
Oh,
terms of the experience
Test
that you
Live
get
today?
we want to make things feel as dark and evil and, like perverse as it can.
Right,
so,
and also like capturing that element of like, you're peering behind the veil or beyond the veil kind of on your own and kind of experimenting and meddling with powers that you may not necessarily fully understand. And so, part of that mystique.
It's the mystery.
Yeah,
exactly.
Part of that mystique is like, you don't know exactly what you're going to get when you corrupt your body initially. And that kind of philosophy sort of extends to the very act of casting sorceries when you invoke those words of power, is that you kind of have to see like what, like there's a description of like what's going on, but like it's not like there's not like an explicit like chain of things that you just select. Like you kind of like as your repertoire expands and you collect more options for your sorcery, I'll say, then you're kind of encouraged to like, I just got this new page, like time to test it out and see what the hell does this do, and like kind of start to see what happens, and then hopefully not like, I don't know, have it backfire on you. I mean, probably won't happen, but that's
no
the
magic
idea.
will backfire on you. Well, directly.
Yes, for now.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great mod though. Cool. Okay. That covers a lot of that. So that is the attribute system.
I like the new
next we
attribute
want to
system,
talk a
that's
little
for
bit
sure.
about the
I like that.
building system.
And we know you guys have a ton of questions.
Might be grindy with the
we'll
corruption,
try
though.
to answer some at the end if we can.
Depends how they've done it.
We still have a lot more to go through too. So.
Yeah, we're nearing the end of our initial notes. But yeah, we'll allot for a fair amount of time to be able to answer like whatever questions and concerns that you might have, either from before today or after watching this. If you have anything else that you wanted to ask, we'll try to make some time for that. Gonna switch to us talking heads over here.
Q&A.
And so one of the other features coming up is the creative mode. You might have seen a little bit of that in our trailer.
Oh, yes.
But it is
New
the
building
main thing to
system.
keep. The main thing about that is that the entire building system is essentially now housed within a new craftable item simply called the construction hammer. It's a very simple item to craft. It costs like a little bit of wood or stone or something like that, just extremely basic materials. And then once you craft that and equip it like a weapon, it is through that you will be able to access all your building materials, all your various options that you have.
Yeah, I love this. This is good.
And in addition to that, there'll be like one-touch, like contextual options where like you can just like, I think by default it's like you press right mouse button on your mouse and it just automatically switches to the delete brush, so you can just like, if you placed a bunch of stuff down and you made a mistake, you can just hit right click,
It's super
delete,
convenient,
and then hit right click again and then go back to building. And then like let's say you're like building up a bunch of walls, and
you could use the grinders to complete your battle pass.
Corner, like you might switch over to one thing. Let's say you put down a brazier, and then you want to go back to building walls.
Yeah.
By default on PC, you just press middle mouse button on like whatever thing that you want to go back to building. You hit middle mouse button, and then you'll see a little button like above your hotbar, but it'll then select whatever you pressed as like your selected building item, and then you can go back to like building walls.
They really need a preview
that also
here.
works with, like other places like braziers and all that.
It sounds good though.
Anything you put down,
like
you
this.
through the menu, you just look at it, press middle mouse or R3, and you select that piece and build with it. I can't express how fast it is.
It's so fast.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
It's so much nicer for everybody. It's better for mouse and keyboard. It's better for gamepad, like objectively.
No more going in the
so
inventory
nice,
trying to find what you want to find.
Hand in hand with that also is the new creative mode, which
Love
you can
it.
then, I believe you have to be admin to be able to access that.
I would hope so.
So what it does is it,
Oh my goodness.
it clears out a bunch of unnecessary UI elements because it turns you invulnerable. You cannot be detected or attacked by hostile NPCs.
That's cleaner,
It removes your health bar, stamina bar, a bunch of other different elements. So you get
building.
so you get more screen space, and then you learn every single recipe, like building recipe in the game instantly. You can build unlimited numbers of them, and then there is a toggle fly mode where if you double tap space or double tap jump, you toggle between free flight mode and being able to walk around.
So it's like
and then, of course,
GCM
all
on
the
Arc.
other like shortcuts that are available through the construction hammer are also available in creative mode. So like if you want to just like fly around and while you build up something, like you can just select some walls and build some things up, and then go select a torch with middle mouse and then add a few torches, and then just like
They are making it sound overly complicated,
select
I
which other
agree.
building piece you want, put a bunch of those up, and use your shortcuts to kind of swap between each one. And then like fly around it really quick, or if you want to get back inside and like get a quick detail, like you can just double tap jump and drop back in.
It'll be so much easier to participate in building contests.
Andy, my brain.
Yeah.
The guy in our marketing team that makes all of the awesome buildings that you see in our trailers and everything.
Oh yeah.
Sat down last week, and I had a suggestion for him to mix a couple of our building sets together, and he was like, "Yeah, I sat down for about 15 minutes and threw this building set together, and it looks great. I can't believe how fast the new building system is." So it's there's a slight learning curve when you get into it, and you might be inclined to think, "Oh, this is so much worse." But stick with it for like 5 minutes, and you'll be
promise,
slamming
like,
stuff out.
The very first time I got to play like a test build internally, I was just like what's going on? Like I didn't really understand what was going on with my binds. I think this was before the binds got wiped too, so I was like,
They've got a bit of desync, haven't they?
Once everything
Trying to watch the
was
mouth
working the way it was
movements.
supposed to be,
Desync a little the stream.
Y'all, when you get your hands on this update, I was able to just like build a whole bunch of examples
Their
and just like, have a ton of fun, like really fast. So hopefully you have the same experience.
And touching back on creative mode, right now it is just for server admins, so you do have to have admin to do that. We are working on some stuff that we plan to come out later, no official release date or anything, where we want to be able to make it available for anyone on a server, so you could potentially make a creative server and just say anyone that logs in can toggle it on and off. Or adding that as a setting in a server, normal PvP or PvP server as well.
All right.
On one note, I did see a quick question in chat. It unlocks everything that you as a player can build. So like, if you don't have a specific DLC or coming up like a specific building package or something like that owned, then you won't be able to place those buildings down until you buy the DLC or buy it from or earn it from the battle pass or buy it from the shop or something like that.
I was just informed the creative mode server settings already in.
Cool.
So
hey.
Yeah.
The release date's still TBD. I don't know what you want from me.
Right, nice, very good. Nice, yeah. I love these live updates that we're getting on Slack here, fresh out of the oven. Thanks, Paul. So yeah, that's an exciting new feature that's also going to be launching with this update.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of other like, I don't want to say miscellaneous, but there's like a bunch of other like quality of life changes and balance changes that we'll be making, of course, with the update. Lots of bug fixes. Yeah. We are going to start also working on like a bunch of updates to like followers and thralls, like just across the board. and this is going to be like a multi-stage process. So when the update launches, I believe, like generally speaking, Thrall HP is going to get nerfed. They will have and damage actually. So generally speaking, they'll have less HP and less damage. However, you can strengthen them with the new what was the new name of the
Authority.
Authority, yeah. So once so now Thralls will be the Thrall's effectiveness will now be directly affected by your Authority attribute. So increasing that will make all your followers and Thralls and all that much stronger.
Taking it a step back, we know that Thralls are insane right now in terms of
yes,
the potential damage they can deal and the amount of health they have, and it feels like the Thrall is the star of the show. And
yeah,
really,
they are.
when you're playing this barbarian power fantasy game, we want you to be the star of the show. So we've made some adjustments now, and we'll continue to keep making tweaks and adjustments as we add updates and quality of life features. But like Andy mentioned, Thralls will have substantially less health in this update. One of the most notable patch notes is that Beastmaster 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐵 had his tables adjusted to be correct. There was a little bit of a bug in those, which led to his absurd health pools.
Yeah,
so
how much did he have? Like
it's tens of thousands at the moment if you get him maxed out with the right
Beastmaster
perks.
𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐵,
And
bye-bye.
You'll be lucky to have him hit like 12,000, which is still an insane number, can I still point out. But the changes that we've made are meant to be safe. We don't want to nerf the game so hard that the content becomes unplayable, or you can't participate in it. So we are taking steps to get it to where Thralls are less of the thing in the spotlight and players are more.
Yeah, because he had a bug table. He was supposed to be Black Hand, but he was Forgotten Tribe.
And you that's just the way you like to engage with the game. You won't gain the health back that they lost, but we did also reduce their damage by 50% across the board. You can get that damage back through the attribute.
Okay.
And the capstone perks on there are really cool. You can make like a single Thrall substantially stronger, or have multiple Thralls fall on you. On top of that, with sorcery, we've added new systems that like modders will probably be interested in for the followers themselves, where we can assign a type to a Thrallower, and like you can change the number of followers of that type that follow you. So if you want to make a new follower type that's unicorns, and make it so 70 unicorns can follow you, that's a thing you could mod in.
What?
By default now, whenever you raise the dead with necromancy, you can have 3 undead followers that'll chase you around, and those zombies will fight for you on your behalf. If you pick that attribute that adds,
so you get 3 additional followers.
You can have 4 undead following you around, doing for you.
Great,
excellent.
But they have to be undead.
And then we have other stuff planned for Thralls in a future update beyond this one, but it won't make it in for this specific update. But we do have more planned with regards to Thrall balance and how you interact with them.
Yeah, one big one that we're planning to go in with Chapter 2 is the down but not out system. So right now there can be a lot of frustration when you just lose a Thrall. Something happens, there was no chance you could mitigate it as a player, the Thrall goes down. Excuse me. So we've added a system in that we have internally right now, and we're just testing, that the Thrall will kind of fall on the ground, or the follower, if it's a cat or whatever, they'll fall down on the ground. You can interact with them to, kind of revive them, give them a pat on the back, bring them back up to their feet.
That's so cool!
And they'll come up with some lessened amount of health to keep fighting with you. At some point that breaks, and they will eventually die if they die too much. But it's really quality of life for loss mitigation.
This is really good.
Yeah, just giving you an opportunity to, like, if something happens just like way beyond your control, you at least like can bring back like your favorite follower or something.
This happens a lot to people, so this is really good.
They, if you're just like off doing something else, they just die mysteriously or something like that. If you can get back in time, I'm assuming like you can revive them. But
that's nice. That's really nice. I do like that.
In chat, Cavs is just like, let us poop in game, please.
Make it even more like Ark.
Okay. On a more serious note, someone did have a question about what's going to happen with artisan tables.
Artisan tables still exist. We're still looking at how much we want to take off the table and slap onto the build menu. So they might go away. They might just get integrated into the build menu entirely.
They should put them in the menu, but you can still build a table if you want to.
And not
but that I feel. Because they do look nice, those tables.
Cool. Good. Very good.
What's next? Oh, also.
Yeah.
Big feature. Ras.
Yeah, there's a grass update.
Grass?
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. So now,
Can I touch it?
when you place
touch
building pieces down now, that pesky grass that would stick through the foundation.
Well, it's finally, yeah, it's
cool.
cool. At last.
It comes along with a cool thing like, the rain changes, so it no longer rains indoors. It's all those little touches that make it
Feel
feel
like
a little
rust
more
then.
real, right?
That's going to be really nice.
Clearing out that grass with building pieces is a pretty big one.
Yeah, having all those blades of grass popping through your storm glass foundation, stuff like that will be a thing of the past.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, it's 2022, y'all. We're in the future, finally. We can finally...
Yes.
We're finally making it so you can't touch grass. You don't touch grass when you build things.
I wouldn't worry about
excuse me.
the thralls too much for PvP, because a lot of people just dodge them
great.
anyway.
And then,
like,
we're going to move into just like a grab bag of various other things that we wanted to just like talk about kind of more rapid fire. This is more like a general thing, but there'll be some combat updates. There will be a new in-combat standing animation that we're actually kind of excited about. Characters will no longer permanently just like be hunched over constantly with their weapon out. Like they will actually stand upright. Like we finally gave them a posture check.
Yeah, it's a
I need to give
similar
myself a posture check.
But it is higher up. The hips are raised up, and the character stands more upright and less hunched over. So your character feels like they're a little more ready for action and a little less
timid,
trolly.
Yeah, and just like kind of walking around like, oh yeah, it's time. Like you're not just stalking your prey to like go hit some rocks or something.
There's a lot of really minor tweaks in there too that I think you guys will appreciate when you get your hands on it. But the character can rotate a little faster whenever if you're in like control or movement mode. We updated the animations for that.
Nice.
We made changes to lock-on targeting to make it a little easier to use.
Oh, thank you.
Ideally, I think it would be great if we live in a world where the lock-on is, worth using and switching between.
Lock-on is very annoying
you
for
have
me.
At the moment, you might want to be fixated on something and smashing it, or you might want to lock off and turn and go away to dodge something. But the lock-on should place the target in a better space, screen space-wise. Like right now. In live, whenever you lock onto something, it kind of pushes it to the top of the screen.
Because at the moment, when you lock on something in game right now, it's like you're having your head
some adjustments, so it kind of puts them more
snap
eye level,
to the side,
and
like
the camera's a little more to the side.
It's
while
horrible.
you're locked on, your character can move at full. Basically, I think it's full or close to the same speed you can move forward at. So strafe speed has changed, and you can strafe faster left and right now, which also changes the way you engage with combat. Like a lot of enemies that you had to kind of eat attacks from before, if you were locked on, you might be able to actually step out of the way of the attack just before it happens now, which feels really good.
Good.
That's a relief.
Yeah. We'll also be in addition to that, we'll be making some changes to just like specific balance, including addressing mounted combat in PvP. So we're going to be adding a damage multiplier when you're on the ground versus a mounted player. This is a weapon specific or weapon dependent, basically a stat. And so like small weapons like daggers will not have much of a multiplier, but like if you have like a spear, for example, that will do significantly more damage.
Stamina.
Oh, okay.
Stamina, I'm sorry, to a mounted target. In addition to that, across the board, we are going to be increasing the stamina costs for all hostile actions taken on while mounted, especially the lance. So like,
I saw a lot of people asking about that.
Yeah, specifically the lance. Yeah, so stamina costs will be increased for the lance. Additionally, like during like its active frames, like when it's out, that will drain additional stamina, and then each time you hit or impact with the lance, you will have to, like, instead of it just like being out forever and you're just kind of like, you just turn into the Juggernaut and just always like literally have it out forever.
Yeah.
It ends the attack.
It ends the attack, and then you have to kind of like readjust yourself and actually like bring it back down again to then make a follow-up attack. So you can't just like ram unlimited targets in a single
I imagine
slice.
they'll do a recap at the end, maybe.
Like a power shot on a bow right now. How you hold the button and it holds it out and your stamina drains. But instead of holding the string drawn, you're holding the lance out. And we've addressed a majority of the cases where multi-hits would occur with a lance as well. So a lot of the reason you die instantly to a lance right now is it can hit you like 10 times in a single frame. And we've worked out almost all the problems with that to where you shouldn't be taking really substantial lance damage anymore. And then like Andy said, once one hit occurs with the lance, you hit anyone with it once, it pulls the lance up again, and you have to
you know, wait for it to reset and then pull it back down and have the.
Okay, I was skeptical on this.
Yeah,
It
so it
actually
should still be a powerful
sounds
option,
good.
but we don't want it to
now.
be like the de facto like meta for
Hey, Vlad.
mounted combat, and also just not instantly delete people.
Yep.
Because of an unintended like effect. And obviously, like that's something that we can pay attention to, and like if we feel the lance is still like too powerful or too weak, like we can always make adjustments. That's like number of stuff. And then also the as at least as of the writing of our notes, that mounted damage multiplier, or that ground to mounted damage multiplier, will also be a server setting that you can change. And so yeah, if you want to make it like extra punishing, you can ramp it up, or if you want to just like have it not be a factor, you can also do that. Up to you.
Okay, these are good changes.
We're also going to be doing some tweaks to some specific weapons. For example, two-hand spear combo timing has been adjusted between the 3rd and 4th attacks.
The window is shorter, so it feels more natural.
Don't you touch my war axe.
There will be a larger dodge window on several weapons. And two-hand axes are also getting just kind of an across-the-board damage buff, in addition to a larger dodge window as well.
They do need that.
Two-handed axes got a lot of love in terms of those windows. Like there were a lot of two-handed attacks you couldn't cancel before with dodge, and it was inconsistent with all of the other weapons, which you can cancel at almost any time when you're attacking. So we changed axes to be more uniform with everything else. Hopefully they see a little more use.
And then we are also making some changes or adjustments to building health. And so drawbridge health will be reduced, I believe, substantially, and then gate frame HP is probably also going to get reduced a bit.
No more using drawbridges in PvP?
Health for all tier 2 buildings will be going up significantly across the board.
Oh, that's a relief.
To incentivize, like, that makes it a much more substantial upgrade over just tier 1, so that way you're not just spamming a bunch of tier 1 stuff. Like
how are you doing, by the way, Anna and Vlad?
The goal is to have that actually be like worth investing into to build up your base.
It also reduces the delta between tier 2 and tier 3. I mean, tier 3 is not the only option if you need to build a base and protect some stuff, right? So we kind of want to try to reduce the barrier to entry and let more people get into raids and more people fighting each other, and having tier 2 be more effective for less cost than tier 3 is a way that you can rebuild bases faster, keep the engagement going, and not feel totally decimated if someone wipes your base off. You know, you can get back into it a good bit faster.
And ideally, like, people actually use doors, because door HP is also affected by this, so you're not just like spamming walls and just removing them to bring it back and all that jazz. So
alright, doors more useful.
Yes.
Drawbridges
I'm so
down the
sorry if I'm
poopy
being
hole.
super quiet. I'm reading chat, and I'm also collecting your questions, like a lot of questions that I see.
Yeah, I'm making sure to not have chat like up on the screen, because I'll just get super distracted and get off track. And so Nicole,
but don't worry, I see you.
Nicole is being our all-seeing eye, and so thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that.
I had a haircut today and all that stuff.
Really
it was pretty good.
I mean, I've got a couple notes here,
it was
but
too heavy.
I figured maybe because they're all kind of on topic from what we're talking about right now.
Sure, yeah, gotcha.
So, yeah.
And then I think we also want to make like demonic fire orbs stronger for siege.
Yeah,
to do more siege
damage.
damage.
Damn.
Fire orbs, yeah. I don't remember the exact specifics from the patch notes off the top of my head, but I think Quaglan's going to give me a little fill in here real quick. We wanted to make them a more viable option. They weigh more, and the persistent effect deals more damage. So if you can use these to take buildings out over time.
I'm imagining fire orb, poison orb, bang.
I think it covers a lot of
effective.
A lot of the nitty gritty / big broad strokes that are coming up.
Another really big one actually is the stability setting for
tell me about
the server
that.
setting. There's a server setting now that's a multiplier that changes your stability on buildings. So if you want to turn off building stability and just build into the ether,
like impossible structures.
Yeah, you can build Euclidean architecture essentially because there's no stability.
Cool.
Excellent.
As a factor, you can also increase or decrease that since it's a multiplier. The standard loss from like a wall to a ceiling is 20 stability, which is 20%.
Okay.
So if
I'm
you
on
make
board.
it half that,
if the multiplier is 0.5, you'll only lose 10 stability going from a wall to a ceiling
And
piece.
if it's 0, it's
Oh.
just
No stability loss 100% across the board.
The roofing will be so much
Is it-
better now.
Again, really great for building content.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Is it Euclidean or non-Euclidean?
Non-Euclidean.
Non-Euclidean. Yes. Finally, my dreams
Oh,
of creating.
that's gonna be a game changer. That is
And,
for building a
MC
roof.
Escher inspired. I thought it was I thought non-Euclidean was the one that was just like
I'm
does
cranking
not
out.
conform to.
Yeah.
Okay. Hyperbolic. Anyway, impossible structure is going to be exciting. get
I
to
haven't
create
seen
my
anything about
MC
the
Escher
shag
impossible
eye
structure
bugs
or
in
something.
the patch so far.
So yeah, that covers all the broad strokes and all the bits that we wanted to talk about, unless something else comes to mind, which it might, and that's fine.
Time for the juice.
So before we go into more Q&A stuff,
The
as you might
nitty-gritty
have seen in the trailer,
questions.
we are looking to release Update 3.0, The Age of Sorcery, in Q3 2022.
Which is
Beyond that, as we get closer to that time, specifics will be out.
Yeah.
But that's all we got right now.
oh.
And then, if you want to take some questions, 'cause I know there's been a lot of questions and comments that we've seen
Yeah. Do you have chat up too?
for a
I
bit.
do,
So
yeah.
Okay, so like obviously if you
Please
see
take it
any
away.
in particular that you wanted to answer, but one that I saw a lot was like asking about crossplay. I don't know that there are any plans at this moment, but
Yeah, we don't have any plans for crossplay right now.
Okay.
It is plausible and something that's on the table for us, but we aren't.
I
making
think
any
they
moves
should
for
at
it
least do cross account wide
any
with their
plans on increasing the
monetization.
level cap?
I think they should at least do
if
that.
the level cap increases, it'll most likely come with some type of content as well. I don't know if it'll be like a horizontal growth or vertical growth in the content itself, but we don't have a really good reason to increase the level cap right now. It also could come about in the form of like progression updates, but those are not anything that we're working on at the moment.
Okay.
cool.
So no level cap.
No, we're not wiping servers. Let's see what else. Do spells have cooldowns?
No, there's still no concept of cooldowns in Conan Exiles. The idea of a cooldown, at least in its rawest form, a timer that counts down and you can do something again, is something that
When
I'm
is
personally going
Q3?
to try to always avoid, because it's a very gamey game mechanic, and Exiles is meant to be a game rooted a lot in reality, as much as we can make it. I know that
Oh,
there
there's
are
gonna
things
be
that are gamey,
bugs.
but we only do that when it's
lordy.
absolutely necessary. So if we can avoid it through other
It'd
mechanics,
just be how
we
it be.
implement cooldowns in roundabout ways.
That'd be Conan.
And you saw also, yeah, like the actual act of casting and kind of spell
Could be
is-
considered a cooldown of its
Yeah,
own.
yeah. I mean, it is a relatively lengthy process. Like you can't just like.
So it's just
whip out a
cast time you
spell,
have with your
like,
sorcery.
off the cuff
It's
or
gonna
something
be
like
the
that. Like,
thing.
you do have to kind of go through that process. So yeah, like you said, that in of itself can be considered like a limiter of sorts in terms of how much you can use it.
This one's asked a couple times, and they're asking about like if there's gonna be any performance improvements on servers, multi-core servers. I don't.
They're not upping the level cap.
Yeah, I can't speak about multicore
July to
specifically,
September?
but I will tell you this.
Ooh.
We are literally always optimizing Exiles. There are points in our development cycle where we essentially kind of step back and analyze everything that is performing poorly.
I'll give them that. They
and we make
do
really
do a
big
lot of
leaps in certain
patching.
places where we
It can take a while, but they do a
Even
lot of
the new
patching.
content that we're making now requires
For the most
improvement
part.
as it's being made. Like opening the building menu
Quite a bit.
used to cause a large hitch. I think it was something like 750 milliseconds or something like that.
Oh my
and now
lordy.
it's like 40 milliseconds of time between the time you press the button and it appears.
Nice.
We are taking a look into some things like character
Surprise
and server side
features.
right now that our optimizations will make things run better for everyone overall.
Oh
But
yeah,
there's not
they
anything really
disabled
specific I have to announce
character
about it, other than
transfers for now on all
optimization and performance
platforms.
is always on our radar, and while the game is
Recently.
not perfect in terms of performance now, we are always trying to improve it.
Any mention of extra
You're
mounts?
fine. I saw a couple things about like modding
Yes,
and
there
all
is.
that too. This is something that
You can get full
I made a little announcement
undead
over
friends
the
now,
weekend,
apparently.
in the Conan Exiles modding Discord. But you know, we just want to reiterate and really emphasize that like modding is absolutely not going anywhere. And then
Good.
while we don't have like an exact like ETA on when it'll be out, like you know, first of all, the update will launch on test live first before it actually goes live, and then we're planning on really
When?
we're going to allow for mod makers to have
When?
ample time to be able to update their mods for the new update.
Yeah, after they break the
mod
game.
kit.
Yeah.
Shortly after the test.
Yeah, and that'll be still give a really good window between that and the official
As
launch.
most games are like.
So that again, that'll give modders an opportunity to update everything they want, play around, and see what else is.
I'm glad they're considering modders.
With the updated systems.
Transmog system for buildings is interesting. It's actually a design I
That's going to break a lot of
considered
mods.
as part of this update when we were really early on, but it's not something we're actually developing. For the most part, one of the rules we have for Exiles is that everything should be as dangerous as it appears, right? Like a super scary crocodile should always be a super scary crocodile and not be like a one-hit, pushover kind of thing. And I think that logic applies to buildings as well. We've taken a bit of a liberty with the illusion system to offer like a really nice convenience and quality of life feature for people, but when it comes to building pieces, at least for the time being, we'd like to keep
See you later,
the scary
Commando.
structures looking scary and the tier 1
Thank you for
structures
popping
looking
by.
more flimsy.
Yeah, if there's like a ton of clamor for that, I mean, we can certainly consider it. But,
We have a design for it, so
it exists. Yes, thank you.
We have a lot of questions on if with this update there'll be new maps or map updates and things like that.
there will be updates to both maps, to Exiled Lands and SIPTA, but they're just the updates that are necessary to add the content to drive the systems forward. So you'll find sorcerers out in the camps. The camps will be dressed a bit differently. You'll see some new pieces in there that haven't been there before.
Hey,
There
Kajan.
are a couple new caves hidden away in both maps that I won't really say anything more about. But that's, for you to discover and explore and,
Caving.
if I show
We're
it
going
on stream,
caving.
it's just going to ruin the fun of it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you have to be
Hello,
patient,
Sona.
but it's really worth the wait, I swear.
Yeah.
We generally try to not show off everything ahead of time, right?
Right.
I want to, though. Like,
I mean, sure.
I know,
full
Right.
disclosure,
yeah.
I wish I could sit here and just play the game and make you guys watch me for like 5 hours because of all the cool stuff there is.
I mean, I think we have a non-zero number of rapt audience members who would love to watch that, but yeah.
So there's this question that a lot of people were asking, but so in regards to Battle Pass age, will there be ways to get the items from that pass in the future, or once that age is gone, are they gone for good? What's the plan with that?
Good
Our
point.
plan for battle passes right now, and it is subject to change based on feedback, based on numbers. One thing that I think is really important to talk about, at least from our perspective, is that we have a very experienced monetization expert that we're working with, and we've taken his advice on a lot of stuff that we're doing.
From
and,
Tencent.
Originally, we decided we wanted to say, hey,
I'm
let's
sorry.
make these other battle passes available all the time, and his advice was that we shouldn't do that. So for the time being, and the way it's going to go in now, unless we hear like really massive uproar about it, is that once the battle pass is done, the battle pass is gone. Regardless, we're not going to re-add those items to the shop. We're not going to say, here's this exact item you got in the battle pass. It's a thing that was limited availability. You paid for it. You were there when it happened, and now you can just buy it in the shop.
So it's going to be like how they
It's not a thing we
structure
plan to do.
seasons
We may do
on
variations
Destiny
on
2
some
in
of
that
those
way.
items. So if there's like a really cool bookcase, we might mod it some, change the
Roughly.
contents of it and its name, and create an alternative close version to it.
I'm
You'll never
really
see
on the
that
fence
one-to-one
about
same
the
item in the shop
monetization
that's
though.
in the
Like,
Battle Pass.
Yep.
Cool.
I hope there's a way to get it in the future.
Sorcery as well.
or the time frame is
sorcery
huge.
For now and probably for the foreseeable future going to be primarily based on the player, right? The fantasy is about you.
I'll let you know my thoughts on that a bit in a
This is
minute.
like a thing you can live out when you play the game. So we don't have magical thralls that'll run around and cast spells with you. We do have sorcery thralls, but they're currently integrated into a workbench. They can't follow you and fight with you. We do have mounts that have sorceress properties, right? You'll see this whenever you see some more of the battle pass and shop stuff.
Yeah, there was an
Some
undead
more
horse
of the sorcery stuff that's already included for free.
and a rhino.
There will be new mounts included in that have sorceress properties, but at the heart of it, we really want you or the people around you to be the people deciding to make that leap into corruption and decide, hey, I want to be the bad guy.
Yeah, this Power Fantasy is about you.
He's been listening to too much Billie
illusion,
Eilish.
Like the mirror image thing that you can cast as part of sorcery, like kind of sits there and like acts like they're casting spells, but doesn't actually do anything. So that's about the closest thing probably to actually having like an in-game unit that goes through the motions. But yeah.
Someone asked if undead followers will follow you forever. They won't. They actually have the system that internally we call rot and decay, which is a system for them to, rot and decay over time. So whenever you summon a
so that's going to be exactly like Joseph's necromancy.
Their skin will be more intact and fleshy, and the longer they exist, the more it'll rot away.
The more gross they get.
Yeah, you can see the gross green, pussy sinew and stuff below.
Fuck yeah.
It's really nasty. And
that's how he does his necromancy in Iowa.
But yeah, part of the trade-off there is that it's really easy to get one of these followers, and whenever you initially summon them, they start at level 20 all perked out. So they're a bit more throwaway than your standard, dressable follower. Like the undead cannot wear extra armor or use different weapons. They have their own set of attack animations and everything.
All right, they're gonna be little beefcakes.
They're just powerful right off the bat.
Can you change the rot time, or?
It's not a setting right now. It could be a server setting we could look into though.
Okay.
Cool.
There also might be a mechanic. We might also be able to play with a mechanic with it too. Like if you feed them a certain item, then it extends their life or something like that.
I saw this a couple times in chat, and I just wanted to bring it up. I've seen a number of comments talking about, are you gonna move over to Unreal 5?
I don't think that would be
highly
possible.
Unlikely. Honestly, at this point, I feel like because we have a lot of custom work done in the current version of Unreal that we have to make Exiles just
maybe
work,
for June survival.
And so it's not there's not
Unreal
like a button
5.
or whatever to just like port it to. Maybe there is, I don't know, but there's a lot of custom work that we have to do that. If we want to, it's not as simple as just simply migrating it to Unreal 5. And
I'm super glad you asked this question because it's like this is the best place I could possibly reply to it.
All right.
I troll Reddit and the forums all the time, and this is one of the number one things we see is like, when will you guys upgrade to Unreal 5?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give some history on Unreal Engine to begin with, and then we'll talk about the state of Exiles.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So Unreal Engine, the numbers that you see, Unreal 3,
I think it'll be quite different from AOC.
Those are where the major massive iterations in the fundamental structure of Unreal changes, where you're literally working with a different product. Unreal 3 is like entirely separate from what Unreal 4 is. It was built upon it foundationally, but the way that their systems work architecturally are different. So Unreal has different revisions, and that's when you see like 4.5, 4.6, 4.25, etc. Those versions, all of those Unreal 4 engine versions are very, very, very similar, and they do get minor changes like performance upgrades, new tools that we can use to make content and things like that. That's actually one of the biggest things that comes in is just like new VFX tools or new animation tools or things like that.
Unreal 5 is
By and
pretty.
large, those don't affect us in terms of delivering a cool game. Right? So our version of Conan Exiles was made in Unreal 4.15. And if you know anything about the timeline of Unreal Engine, 4.15 is around 5 years old right now. I think it was around 2016 or 2017 that 4.15 came out.
Getting old.
And whenever we started making Exiles, we had to do heavy modifications to get it work with our internal backend, to do everything that we need for character creation and server communication and all of that stuff. Those modifications have essentially locked us into Unreal 4.15. What we can do is take features from forward versions of Unreal and backport them to that 4.15. So
see you later, Regal.
Conan Exiles will never be anything other than 4.15 with heavy modifications. It is no longer possible for us to take the project, right-click, update engine version in Windows, and select 5.0 and make it Unreal 5. It's not that simple for us. If we were to do that to the project, it would generate months of backlog work, updating the systems that we created for 4.15 to work with the changes that have happened for 5.0.
Yeah, no thank you.
Even 5.0 is actually just like 4.27, or 28 or whatever, for what it's worth. Like, the changes they've made have changed it, and there's a lot of performance upgrades, and that's what makes it worth calling it a new product.
It's a lot more demanding
But
Unreal 5.
We will never be Unreal 5 specifically in Conan Exiles. If we make Exiles 2, yes, we'll use whatever the most recent version of Unreal is at the time. But sorry to drone on about this.
Exiles 2?
We will never update Conan Exiles to be Unreal Engine 5.0. We can take performance increases and gains from later revisions and backport them into what we have now.
Right.
That's cool. The story.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Exiles 2 when? Someday.
LOL.
I think there's
Someday.
almost no question that Exiles 2 happens. It does just become a matter of when. It's not a promise, just a observation.
Nice. And I saw one person ask again. The update 3.0 will hit test live before it goes officially live.
Absolutely.
In Q3 of this
There's
year.
a chance. There is a chance.
We plan on launching later this year, and then there'll be.
I never thought. There is a chance.
A substantially earlier version on test live, so that you guys can check it out. And just let us know how you feel about it.
Yeah. I saw also some questions about the.
You can't just say that and not continue.
Unfortunately, that's something that only.
What do you mean?
Pre-purchased buyers received, so unfortunately we can't give those out.
Yeah, that's an exclusive to pre-orders. Yeah, and
give me Exiles 2, baby. I'm buckled in.
Because that was an exclusive for pre-orders. Like you can't just like freely give those out after the fact. I believe.
All excited now.
It could be a case where we do like modified versions of it or something. Though. Like we could make like a tarnished Atlantean sword or something.
Yeah,
it's like the rusty kind of nasty version of it. Just spitballing, but. Those exact items, those are going to be pre-order exclusive forever.
As it should be.
Very sorry.
Yeah, the Atlantean sword and the royal armor. Yeah.
So certainly possible with the system we have, but those, like Dennis said, those specific items will remain as pre-order exclusives.
Good.
So I'm just
good.
reading over some chat stuff now.
Yeah, feel free to.
Feed system rework. Yes.
I don't know how,
Conan 2 people confirmed.
I suppose we can do. I mean, how are you feeling? We're coming up on the 2-hour mark right now, so I'd be happy with taking about 10 minutes more questions, and then if there's still like a drove of things that we need to address, we can have a follow-up like Q&A exclusive stream, and of course.
This is why the shop's
our forums
here.
and social
Conan
media. If you want to
2.
leave us a comment there, ask questions there. If we have an answer for it, we'll work to answer them as to the best of our ability, within reason. So, how are you feeling about it?
To be honest as well,
pretty good. A lot of the
they're
questions
probably
are
trying to
coming
fund
up,
June
a lot of
right
stuff
now,
has actually
June
been answered.
survival.
If you guys go back through the VOD.
That'll be coming out
you'll probably see
either next year or a couple of years' time.
Someone did ask how Battle Pass will work
No
on
date
private
yet.
servers. I did mention before that it will be on private servers. It'll work the same as it does on an official server. Yeah. You just log in.
How are they going to moderate
get
that
progress.
with single player though? Because you could just spawn those things in to do your daily pass.
Yeah.
Anything else? Yeah, we're just going to be going over.
2-seater mounts.
How does that work?
2-seater mounts.
Oh yes.
We don't have.
God, I wish.
Yeah, we don't have 2-seater mount plans right now. Could be a thing.
Do it for the elephant.
Sure. Someone asked if the demonic, the transportory pads will work on, or how those will work for like privacy. Right now, it's
Same Anna, same.
Your clan. If someone were to not belong to your clan and stand in that pad, they would see the same options your clan sees because the item is rooted in your clan, but it's not exclusive to your clan. I don't know
So
if
it could
this
be a
will ship
liability,
or
this.
not, because we are still going through polish
These TP
on
pads
the system,
and PvP.
but we have had an option to be able to switch between private and public networks to where people could build one and mark it as public, and then every other public one can see that one. So people could set up networks for one another to move around the map.
I reckon a
with,
private and a public
eventually,
network for
if that
teleporters
ships.
would be
Sweet.
a good way to go.
Character transfers are being addressed, and we don't have a date on those just yet.
RIP.
There was one question. I'm sorry. Hold
I saw one person be like, "Let Nicole talk."
Oh, I'm talking. Sorry. I'm like I said, I'm very into you guys here in chat. And going through.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. If I've been like talking over you, I'm sorry.
No,
I've
you're
just been,
fine.
like,
Can you put players on the sacrificial
that's a good
altar?
question.
You cannot put players on the sacrificial altar.
Damn it!
Much like the player interaction with the truncheon now, you can't knock a player out to put them on there. Mainly because I feel like it would be a really bad experience to just lose control and be roped up for an indeterminate amount of time until someone decides to do something with you.
Depends what you're into.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why I was like furled my brow. Like
I'm calling it
my
now.
watch,
Dodgy
like
mod
this,
incoming.
Like
Dodgy mod.
Nice watch.
it's shaped like an old school like Casio watch, but it's actually a Timex, and I like it because it just has this like elastic band that I can.
I had to go there.
Yeah, it removes all the extra like annoying steps of having to like clip it on my wrist. I don't know. Yeah, there's just no least path of resistance to getting things on because I like to be able to slip it on.
The Watcher furniture, so someone's asking about Twitch drops also.
Oh, the Twitch drops, yeah.
Same rule as pre-order items. If you own those, they'll appear in the build menu, yeah, but we're not going to sell those exact items or add those exact items to the Battle Pass or anything like that.
Yeah, that's not to say there might be variants of it or something like that, or like the modified versions of
we
them.
could do modified versions, and I don't mean like just a recolor, but also some kind of like
extra
variation
different
on
geometry,
yeah.
Might be good if they modify it.
Ships or boats?
I'm sorry, chat.
No
I'm
boats
sorry.
planned. Yes, new mounts. Yes, new pets.
For the record, I would love that personally.
Right.
And I recall like we put a lot of focus on the ship things that we added with the new lands in the south. Yeah, so it would be awesome, but we have no plans for that. So that's what my like. I didn't mean to like scoff. I hope no one thought that I was just like, yeah, I wish. Kind of. That's more what that was supposed to be.
How dare you ask?
If we ever do anything
please.
boat related, it's most likely to come in the form of an age, like harkening back to Conan's time as a pirate. Essentially, they would probably be a large feature that came out, not just something you drop in the water and there it is.
Right.
I don't think there are plans for a Switch port.
I don't think so. No,
Not
sorry.
tonight.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Imagine Conan
Servers
running
will
on
not be
Switch.
Yeah.
Ugh.
New map with dinosaurs?
Oh.
I mean...
You joke, but we've talked
Become an
about
arc.
What?
Even more now.
There's a specific time and place in our lore that makes sense for us to have a new map with dinosaurs potentially.
Conan 2
I promise, just an
dinosaurs.
observation.
Dinosaurs
If
confirmed.
you get dinosaurs when I get my giant
You're
mechs.
Argyle.
My
Mechs.
giant mechs
Sorry.
in my Conan. Give me
Imagine.
Conan 20XX.
Imagine calling it now. Dinosaurs in Conan 2.
My favorite part of 3.0 is hard to define because I love all of it. Like, we this is one of the first features I've worked on personally where I've been really responsible for making sure everything is cohesive and tied together. So I've had my hand in
I'd like
every single thing you'll get to
some of the old
degree.
dungeons reworked
And
for sure.
We've tried to make it all feel like an experience that ties together. If I had to pick like one specific thing out, one thing
Conan.
that is like my favorite, it's really hard to say. I really like the corrupted attributes part of the corrupted attributes because it's like, okay, sorcery is this really inherently evil, disgusting, corrupting thing that makes you a vile human for participating in it. And the attribute system, I don't know how many people really think about this.
If it makes you a vile human, why aren't you allowed to tie up other players?
They are how you
And
have
stick them on
developed
the
as a
altar.
human. So to take something like your strength and say,
Let me
I'm a
knock out
strong
other
man,
players' game.
I've been my whole life.
Let me do it.
I was raised on the wheel of pain. I smash rocks with a pick and I cut down men with a hammer. And to say that, okay, now I'm evil and I'm vile and I'm really investing in this, and that strength that I've been nurturing my whole life.
See,
is
sticking
now
to my
corrupt
point.
to its core.
Let us do it to
And
players.
to see your
Let's do
physical
it.
attributes of strength be eaten away by the purple bar as it corrupts is really.
Imagine sticking them in like the floor and they come up
so you can
undead
actually
player.
live out the true fantasy of like like
That might be a little bad, though.
like to your very core, like your very essence has been corrupted, and it's not just like a veneer of like purple and like and a stat nerf.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone
We're
said Red
supposed to
Sonja
be
question mark,
savages.
which isn't really a question in itself, but we do not own the rights to Red Sonja.
Oh, yeah.
So we do own Conan, but Red Sonja is
Aww.
outside of the Conan IP, even though they mingle.
People are
Rip.
asking about being able to dye saddles.
Please.
There's nothing coming in 3.0 that will add saddle dye. It is a quality of life thing that we can add in our to-do list, though. For
Don't
sure.
worry, guys. We have
That's a suggestion.
fashionist. We get our
Sharks
coloured
for
saddles.
Sipta.
Technically, Sipta has sharks.
Technically.
They eat you when you swim too far away.
Yeah.
They have a big shark.
So yeah, I'm just looking at all these things now.
I don't think there's gonna be wands.
Yep, KO and Cage are the players. Yep.
But
yeah, we can talk about
Agreed.
that.
Yeah.
Little tiny like.
The weapon, quote unquote weapon. I actually had it labeled as a tool because I don't want people to think it's a weapon that you fight with and do combos with. But yeah, it's called an arcane focus.
Yeah, this little lad that you're holding here.
The whole idea is that it acts as literally a focusing point for the magic that you're channeling. So you speak these demonic words, and the power runs from the runes into the focus, and you can see when he's casting, the things that he casts get sucked into the focus.
Oh.
And yeah, it's literally there to amplify the magic.
So you put the runes up, and then you kind of just.
And the effects will like change.
It's like
color,
pressing
like,
buttons on which skill you want.
Right.
Spell
which domain of sorcery
Ooh,
you delve into and change colors. Yeah.
That just clicked
so
for
there's
me.
like a common language. If you see someone casting something green, you know they're doing something in the realm of death. They're about.
So
to
you're
bring
pressing.
something
I
to
want
life or something
one,
from
but I want it
beyond.
with. Then you get like 2 options, and it's like I want it with poison or fire. I'll have it with poison, and then it's like how much damage do you want? I'll have 20% damage.
Yeah.
And then poof.
Yeah.
If that's how I'm understanding it.
It's not included in our notes, but people are asking about the event system, and the event system is getting a little bit of a, I don't know how to say it, like PR rework or something like that. Whenever we released Grave Matters, we released it as an event for people to participate in. Go here, test this thing, see it, get some cool reward. And the reason we did that is to test the back end of the system, to detect if there were major bugs or flaws with it, to work on security concerns for it and everything. So new events will be coming out with 3.0.
Yes!
But they're not going to be signposted on the map to where we put a marker on it and we say, go here, do this thing. We're not going to have a big marketing push that's like, a new event has been added. We're going to add several. I think there's maybe 5 that will be launched with 3.0, including Grave Matters. So new events will occur, but I'd like everyone to think of them more as random encounters than events that we celebrate, like a holiday or something like that. So we can add random encounters that reinforce the theme of an event or a holiday, but for the most part, we're not going to say, here's a spot on the map, go do this thing.
Someone puts a teleporter down near all the event sites
organically,
and they cycle around these event
change
sites.
The way you encounter the world.
That's what it's going to be.
There's some really cool ones in
I
there
am
too.
banking on it.
I guess I don't want to spoil those either, but I'd like you to stumble upon them and find them for yourself, and hopefully you feel motivated to dig in and see what nefarious deeds are occurring in the events. That
One shot from other pissing about with runes.
This isn't to say that there will be other like major events taking place within the game, but there'll be things going on, but they won't be without as much fanfare as like Grave Matters, for example. Like Grave Matters was like sort of like a seasonal thing, and also like a teaser for this
more
update.
Things to do. That's
and
good.
Also like a live test run of like a lot of the back end work that we made to the game to be able to facilitate these kinds of like more live.
It could be really fun,
live encounter kind of deals, as Dennis said.
And this will be on Exiles and Scepter.
There will be a chance to earn Crom coins in the wild. There will not. The Crom coins are only a paid currency. You will get them refunded back from the battle pass, like I touched on earlier, but it's purely.
That's kind of like buy my next battle pass.
Shop.
Have more coin.
Also, back on events, people asked about the egg in the trailer.
Yeah, what is that?
Eggs. Tell me what the egg is.
Question mark. What could that mean?
No answers here, just more teasers. Sorry.
No.
Another countdown for another.
Let's know what the egg is.
Countdown to events begins today.
Yeah.
Calling it now.
We thought about
Twitter event. They slowly crack the egg open.
Being like, oh yeah, like thanks so much for coming to today's announcement about the announcement that you saw like last week, and we're thrilled to announce that we're announcing another announcement. But then this weekend happened. We decided not to do that. Yeah. Well. Anyway,
more body/hair types. There's some work that we need to do before we can
go in the shop,
more
guys.
To the base game in that
no.
One funny thing is that was written as body forward/hair types, but we've actually talked about also adding body hair types.
Body hair
you could be fully hairy or not.
Just give me a happy trail, please.
Adding more layers of customization is a thing we always look into.
So you can pick if you want your pubes curly or straightened. Then
the amount of time
is this what we're talking
versus
in?
the amount we can get out of it, right? In terms
our armpit hair must be
player
curly.
Engagement, what they like.
we want to put the most development time into the
Straightened.
things that people will engage with the
or
most.
shaved off.
Yeah, I have definitely seen a lot of
Or
requests.
you can have a wig under there.
You know, here through chat and and a lot of comments on the forums and on YouTube of yeah, just like having.
And they're gonna put it in the cash
to,
shop.
like support like more like portly body types. Some bigger daddies.
That's me.
Etc.
Like when I play a game, I want to play the biggest guy I can. Like,
not just like ripped, but like I just want to be like
wide.
thick.
Just
a huge
you guys should
lad.
see my Sea of Thieves character.
So certainly something that we'd like to see.
Yeah, it's about relatability. You know, you want to feel like your character is like you, and
of course, yeah. And I just, if I want to add a little bit of a fur coat to him and put on a little bit of extra thickness, I want that. Yeah.
Yeah. How much will Battle Pass cost? I can't say the exact price yet because we are still working on finalized prices. Mods over 2 gigabytes are on our radar as well. That's a big thing. You know, a lot of the things that we talk about internally revolve around mods because we'd like more people to be able to use mods. Obviously, there's a big part of our player base that can't use mods right now, and it's a thing we'd like to change. But again, it's like the amount of development time versus the, what we don't put out as a result of working on that.
Yeah,
you almost need a different section to work
to factor in
with modders here.
Very limited memory, for example.
Like they do with Ark.
So, again, yes, certainly something we're aware of. It's just
with their sponsored mod program.
If we could wave an arcane focus and just make that beat, we would. But that's unfortunately in real life, it's not quite that simple. Maybe one day. How we feeling with questions and all that jazz? We're just about at the 2-hour mark, so first of all, thank you so much for staying tuned in and all that.
And my bum's becoming numb, Andy.
Someone asked, I'd like to know if we're finally going to make the PvP servers for everyone time-wise. Fair for everyone time-wise in 3.0. This is one thing I'm going to talk with the team about still. You guys are hearing it first before they are, but I do want to increase the harvest and XP rates on PvP servers so it's faster. Like, I just want it to be faster, right?
It'll be less grindy on
faster
PvP.
For people to get in, level up, grind stuff out, make bases, and fight with each other.
Right.
And that way it isn't as like morally devastating.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things.
When you lose something,
when you lose stuff, it matters less because it was easier to get. So, hopefully that can increase engagement there. I think there's a sweet spot to find there because if we make it too easy, then it gets boring really fast.
Right, because it eliminates the point of PvP. Like,
right, we have to find where like your stuff still matters to you, but it doesn't make you want to quit the game
because you lose. They could have different rate servers just to kind of
anecdote, I actually have a close friend of mine who,
if that's what they're trying to find out, that will tell you very quickly.
He specifically cited like he had to take a step away from the game for a while because he was on a PvP server and like he put a lot of time into his base. And like woke up one day and found it completely destroyed, and like he actually like logged in to watching people destroy his base and like killing him as he like was waking up from all that. And so I can empathize with that, and I know he's not the only one. But again, we have to find that nice balance.
Yeah. Okay. They need a different variety of servers if they want to do that.
That's going crazy, but yeah, we're gonna be here for like 12 hours if we have to answer every single thing. So I think now's a good stopping point for today's stream.
Citadel actually do that really well.
But we are still constantly reading over things that are being sent at us over social media, comments on YouTube, here in chat, of course on Discord and our official forums. I invite you to just like come on to the official forums, make a thread.
Oh God, Andy.
Praise Yogg and see whatever things you see here, or if you want to yell at us about something,
forums
go ahead and let us know in the forums now that you have
blow up
the more complete picture of what's going to be coming up. And then we'll try to answer what we can through those channels, and then if there's enough like clamor or enough like questions that we feel that justifies like perhaps making another stream specifically for Q&A, or like making a short video that answers all these things, or even an FAQ. We'll visit that if it comes up. So
vote for people who run the forums to get a pay raise.
That's it from me. Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add, Nicole?
No, just follow us on the Conan Exiles Twitter, Instagram, Facebook for more updates and silly things that we like to post.
I can answer questions on Twitter too. People want to ping me at Den Makes Games.
What? Oh no, I didn't lock this down.
That's all right.
It's fine. Sorry.
Yeah,
1 sec. Sorry, I'm just being a goon. Great. I'm gonna put these things up here. So
I'm glad they're willing to like talk to people this kind of way, because I know
so these are our various social media channels.
I just know they're gonna get
Twitter,
absolutely
Instagram, and
bombarded
at these,
with this update.
at these usernames. Now
so it's quite impressive they're putting their neck on the line to just answer questions like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, just leave us a comment there, or just like, you know, if you want to joke or.
I know they're getting paid, but
talk about, I don't know, call me Argon McMahon.
A lot of these channels and stuff, they get a lot of abuse, like verbal abuse. So.
Ask about poop. Yeah, whether or not when we're adding a full defecation system into the
Bless
game.
them.
So there will be a recording up on Twitch and YouTube following this. So if for those of you who couldn't watch it, that'll be there.
Same here. This will be up on YouTube.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for staying tuned in. I know for some folks it's super duper late.
Yeah.
I know,
thank you.
Yeah, I know. Like for our outcasts in Japan, it's like 2 a.m. now. So thank you for watching.
Australia.
What's up?
Mates in Australia.
And our buds in Australia.
That's
yeah.
Right.
It's like what, 3 a.m. there or something like that. I want to say it's like over 12 hours difference. I think. 13. Anyway.
Okay.
Thank you all for tuning in. This was a really exciting time. And yeah, we'll see you on the forums, on social media, and
best of luck.
Bye.
Oh my lordy. Yeah.
And
awkward.
no, we will never stop. Mike's still on. Love you. Bye.
Hey, they turned off the audio this time round. Woo! Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot to unpack. That is 2 hours, 11 minutes of package right there. That is a lot. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me. So some things I didn't know, some things I did know in that. Some things took me a little bit by surprise. I'm not gonna lie. And then some things I'm really looking forward to. The whole thing with sorcery, I see that as a massive positive. That is going to be amazing. With all games, they're going to have their bugs and they're going to need to iron them out. That's just how it is. And I imagine it will be no different with 3.0. They're going to have that. And there's going to be a lot of fixing to do. So, sorcery, love it. The things they've done with the tributes, amazing. Love that. If they do decide to up the level cap, then I imagine it will be quite temperamental with, you know, what they've already had in place here. They would have to change the system again, so I don't see them going up past level 60 anytime soon, because they would have to literally change that whole system again, or make this decision now if they wanted to change it and then revamp it. So I see it staying at 60, that's for sure. But no, sorcery, love it. Attributes, love it. Some of the fixes they're doing, good. I like it. Especially with the two-hand axe, having more usability in that. When it comes to monetization, I know, you need money, you gotta pay for things. If they're speaking about a Conan 2 in the works and they're doing Dune Survival, it makes a lot of sense why they're trying to make money out of Conan Exiles right now. It makes a ton of sense, because they're going to need a lot of money to pay these people. However, I am a little vexed or on the fence about how they're going to go about this, and I would like to see how this plays through on future versions of the Battle Pass. So we're going to get like 3 of these a year, roughly, 3 or 4 updates to the Battle Pass a year, and the shop, I imagine. And apparently once these terms are over, you never get these items again unless they change this. So it's a little... I don't know how I feel about that. There's still a little FOMO in there, which is fear of missing out. It does worry me. The whole timer thing in the shop, I think that's really dumb. I'm just going to say it now. If you want to buy an item at any time, you should be able to do that. I don't understand why you need a timer there. The timer just creates FOMO for me. And I know Sea of Thieves do a similar thing, but they do have it up in the shop all the time, some of their items. I'm not exactly sure the entire difference of it. But I really don't like the idea of things in the store having timers. it feels like a little extra, you know? Like, if someone wants to go buy all the items in one go, they should be able to do that if they want to. Like, not have to wait like a month for it to come back on the shop. I think it's like a bit of them stabbing themselves in the foot, but they're trying to do a strategy at the same time. But at the same time, the strategy I don't feel works for Conan. Like, it might work for other games, but I don't know about this one. That doesn't... A lot of it, I'm going to have to see it play out and how they're going to do it, because this is to be tested. This could entirely change how it is right now to something different. By the time it comes out, they could change the timers completely. I think what they're seeing right now is kind of how people respond to this information, and they'll probably tear that into the update coming along the way, because they do that. They do that now and again. They do listen to the community. I know it seems like they don't all the time, but they are quite good at listening, especially when it's quite loud. But no, I'm really not a fan of the timers. I think that's a load of bollocks. I feel like it's very pushy having timers. I don't like it. Apart from that, I do like the look of the new stuff in the shop. I don't mind them monetizing things to get extra money for DLC and stuff like that. I just think it's a very strange way to go about it. I'm very curious what they mean about the discounts, because I know a lot of the time with discounts, some people will discount a product and it's not actually discounted. So I'm going to be very interested on that, how they're going to do that, because of course we don't know yet. As for Battle Pass prices, I would imagine it would probably fall around the same as most Battle Pass prices would do, and that can be anything from 10 quid to 7 quid to 5 quid, which is in pounds. So if you want to translate that, it's probably going to be like $15, $10, something around there. I expect that's how much it would cost. That's not saying 100% certain that's what it would cost, but a lot of battle passes will cost around about that amount, and that's fair enough. Like, that's fair enough. With the free thing, I'm a bit taken aback, because they said they have 60 items in the battle pass, but you can only earn up to 12 free. Now, my first assumption was, when they said you could get it for free in the battle pass, I assumed just straight off the bat, oh, you can earn everything with enough grind, right? But no, you can, from what it sounds like, from what I'm understanding, is you can get those 12 items and that's it, unless you pay money. And then I look in there and there's like a lot of armor and stuff and building pieces, a lot of things people would really want. So yeah, I don't mind paying for the battle pass. I'm a little weirded out by the free version. I feel like you almost need to go one side or the other. Like you need to be full on board with paid, or you need to be full on board with you can earn it, if you know what I mean. It's a little, yeah, it's a bit strange the way they've done it. We'll go back to the pretty JPEG. There we go. Very nice. So yeah, I'm really unsure about how they're going to do it. I'm hoping that a lot of the feedback on this will help mold how they're going to work the shop. But yeah, the free battle pass stuff, how they've done it is very weird to me. Like, very weird. I feel like almost throughout doing that, it's going to make you want to buy the battle pass, which I'm guessing is the incentive to do it anyway. And that's the strategy there. Which is fair enough, just a very weird way to do it. For me, like, you need to be very clear and concise on what way you're going to do it. Like, are you going to let people earn it for free all the time and make it grindy, like some other games do? Or is there only, like, a few optional things? And then again, I find it weird. I know it's marketing. That you get, like, what was there? There was, like, 5 battle pass items on a page. of what you could earn per level, and you could only get 2 of those. So you're going to have these massive gaps where you're grinding and then not be able to get this thing. And then my other question is, if you do level your battle pass up all the way, but you've done it from a free perspective, if you then pay, will you get all of the other items in the battle pass? Or do you have to grind out that battle pass again? That's another thing they didn't really clarify. I think they did really well tackling quite a lot of questions though and clarifying. There was a bit of fluff there, I noticed there. A little bit of back-end comments from the team, I noticed that. I think they're gonna have to be very careful how they price the Crom coins. But if they nail it, if they make this very transparent, and if they nail it, hit the nail on the head, this could work beautifully for people and for the company. But if they make it fishy and shady, it's not going to go down well. So they really need to, there's going to be a lot of pressure now. Because when you bring in money and people and expect more money out of people, it's always going to be viewed as a negative thing for the most part. People don't want to give away their money that much, you know? So, and of course, rightly so. Like, even in the UK right now, the price of housing and everything is inflating through the roof. So, they're going to be extra like, oh, I don't want to give my money away. Unless they have a really good job, then sure. But yeah, I'm hoping now that they're really going to listen to feedback. Because I think if they do, they hit the nail on the head with this one, it could be absolutely amazing for Conan. It would be an absolutely big positive. But all I can do is hope. As for release date, Q3, which is apparently July through to September, so we could expect this update anywhere through those months, I'm imagining. Or maybe another stream with a date, so I imagine they might have another trailer. I would quite like another stream, or maybe another Q&A, a video of some type or something like that, that perhaps would answer a few more questions or something like that. I think that would be quite good. I'm glad they didn't put sorcery into the battle pass and make that a thing you have to pay for. I'm glad that is free, because I think people will love sorcery. Sorcery looks absolutely amazing. We've been waiting for sorcery for ages, and it looks like they absolutely banged that one. Like, big GGs. Leak date October 1st, 2022? Could be. That would be awesome if that is the date. But yeah, it does look to me like it definitely needs some more time in the oven. 100%. Yeah, they gotta be very careful with how they go about this battle pass in the shop. That is for sure. It could make a lot of people very angry. I only have to look at my comments to know that there's a lot of people that are worried about this system coming into play. I am glad though that this money's going to be used for a Conan 2 or a Dune Survival, because happy days. If it's going back into the community and making more games that we love, then happy days. It's good times. And of course, you know, giving people their paychecks or whatever that make the nice things for us. I'm okay with that. Have they stopped the duping yet? I haven't seen anything about that in the patch notes. I might need to reread that though, because I think they got revised. Is there any questions in chat I might be able to answer? Fire away. The FOMO vibe is upsetting. I think they would probably make quite a lot of people happy if they remove the whole timer thing, or just rework how they do the shop a bit, because it's a bit, I don't know, it's marketing, but very shady marketing there. Like, even with Sea of Thieves, how they do it is they have, like, your main feature item will have a timer on it, and they'll be like, you can get this package for this time, But then everything else you can still go ahead and buy whenever you want and have whenever you want, and it's happy days. But yeah, I take it some inspiration from other games. What questions do we have? If they include building pieces on the battle pass, I saw there was sprays, so it looks like you can spray decals on your building pieces in the battle pass. I saw armor in the battle pass on their preview. I wouldn't put it past them to put building pieces on the battle pass, honestly. I can't remember if I saw any bits or not. I know there was a nice sandstone set in the shop. That looked good. Did they say anything about Tests Live? Well, I thought they did say something about Tests Live. They were talking about it, but then they didn't really say any dates for it, so I assume that will be quite close to when we will get, you know, Q3, when the official update comes out. Usually Tests Live, how it works is PC will get that Tests Live stuff out, so people can go ahead and test it for them if they want, or check out features and then just revise it a little further. They usually get that like a couple weeks before release, or even a month before release, depending on how it pans out, or if the general public find something more buggy. And the reason they do this is because you have way more people to test it if you're doing it on Tests Live, so it does make sense. But it is unfortunate because, yeah, consoles will not get Tests Live. You will need PC for Tests Live. Yeah. I'm hoping they will keep console updates together with PC. It does feel bad when you... I know it's quite dodgy with how console works and how they, you know, check over things. But I'm hoping they bring it out all together as one package. That would be lovely if that is a thing. Will Battle Pass work on private servers? Yes, it will. They have confirmed this. Still unsure about the single player aspect, about being able to spawn things in. That wasn't clarified as far as I remember. So yeah, it should work on all servers. Hopefully they have something in place there so people can't just cheese the hell out of it. Because that would be bum. Another thing I'm not happy with is the fact that they said some items might be single-use items. So per character instead of account-wise. Absolutely not. No. 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 Because of how Conan works in general, and the fact that even right now they're turning off transfers, people might have several characters, right? I know I do for a fact. Every time I do a season, I want a new playthrough. I want a new character. I want to wipe from zero. I want to play through the whole game again. The best part of the game for me is the start. Having a fresh new character and being able to play that over and over and over again is an absolute feature for me. I love that. So if they make some items I buy single use per character, for me, that's a load of poo. Because that means I'm going to have to buy absolutely butthole tons of that single use item, whatever it may be. I don't like the idea of that. I think Conan is not the game for that. It needs to stay account-wise, whatever it be. Because a lot of people do the same as me. I know a few people do like long-term, but they definitely need to just, you know, not the single-use, account-wise, and that will work out. I don't know what they would do single-use. That would make sense to me. The only thing I can think of is if they had like an XP booster or something per character, and then again, that doesn't really work in Conan. It's just a load of bum. It would not be a good idea, especially not on PvP. Let me see, is there any more comments? Could be like a name change or change gender. Could be, but right now in the game you can use the Orb of Nurgle to change quite a lot of things. And the fact that they're thinking of adding more character customization, if they do it MMO style, I don't think so. Like, again, I think that would be very bad for the players and then kind of take the whole argument away of having freedom of customization on your players. Like, even when they are just talking about body hair, like, and saying silly things like that. Yeah, beginning is absolutely lovely. Any more questions? I think they're talking about potions and stuff like that. They could do. But yeah, if they sell name changer plates, like you're saying, Unholy Warrior, people could just go ahead and change their name all the time in PvP, and that could make it pretty gnarly. Depending on how they're going to do that, because of course that's not going to work very well in Conan, because it's not MMO based like how MMO do their PvP. Well, it is massively multiplayer, but it wouldn't work like your typical MMO. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Where name changing makes sense as such, or it would at least need like a cooldown for PvP if they do use a name changer. It would need a cooldown. I am your lawyer towards Funcom. I don't know about that. I don't think I'm qualified. All I can do is share my opinion and hope, and hope there's a listening ear out there. And then hope they listen to the community, which again, they usually do, and I gotta credit them for that. I think it's absolutely amazing that they're going to put their neck on the line right now on the forums, and even on their personal Twitter accounts. When I know for a fact there's going to be these ragey babies coming after them on Twitter and stuff, I think that it's going to be toxic to read that. But they're like, yeah, sure, I'll answer your questions. The bollocks on those people, man. Big balls. I think that's very cool. It's good that they're talking to the community. Love that. Any other questions? Do you know if they're going to add anything NPC-wise in the water or in the air? Well, with Sorcery, you'll be able to fly around on your bats now. There was a bit of talk about boats, but I don't think they're going to add that in Conan 1 at the moment. As far as I understand from what they were saying. It would be cool to have more spells where you can fly on different things, though. Like maybe you could fly on a Jill or something. That would be pretty cool, if it fits into the lore. Can 2 people win a clan make loads of stuff for the clan? I would assume so, because you can do that right now with the normal DLC. You can do that. Like, for me, if I go into a clan with somebody and they don't have Jewel of the West stuff, I can make them those building pieces and they can place them and have a lovely Jewel of the West base. I don't know if they're going to restrict that in the future, but you should be able to do that and put on the armor and have a fun day. I am very curious, though, about the how they're changing the statistics on armor and weapons, because apparently they're, gutting that, and it will work very differently. I am extremely interested in seeing how that works. I think that actually really needed doing as well, because a lot of weapons in the game and armors you never use because they're like useless. They don't have like the right stats on them, you don't use them, and there's a lot of scrap in there that you don't need. So I'll be very interested to see how they've reworked that. If the stats are a little bit better now, that could be very interesting stuff. Yeah, the Thrall nerf, it does sound like a massive stone in the works. But generally, I think if you're going to be able to use weapons and your attributes in general with how the Thrall nerf is done with vit and damage, I'm assuming how they've worked it is, your stats are going to buff the Thralls again. So as their base values might be absolutely smoked into the ground, you will be able to up that by the sounds of it and make life better. And it might become an even more interesting system that way. So I do think that's a positive. As much as it sounds like, no, my precious Beastmaster Timos is going to be nerfed. It could be a potential for getting some new thralls and having a way more interesting system. So I like that. That's very good. Love it. You're going to be able to add an extra throw for following. Is this true? Oh, thrall. They said something about having 4 undead following you. I assume that's going to work a lot how 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐝 necromancy works, where you can summon, undead or thralls you found around, find around the map for a cost. Probably won't work exactly like that system, but it does sound like you'll be able to spawn in these undead beefcakes to your will, and they'll be able to help you out, and that's how it's going to work. I did see in the attributes as well that it allows a +1 on your followers, so I'm wondering if that is in general with thralls, or if it only counts for undead. I'm definitely going to have a bigger look into that myself, for now. So people could sell the Battle Pass building pieces for real cash if that happens. Potentially. Especially if they don't crack on it. But that, I suppose that would be no different than people reselling DLC keys how they are right now. And then again, if someone could just make this stuff for free for you, there might not really be any money in it anyway, just to resell it. There could be, if you're on a pay-to-win server, but then I would say just don't join that one. Because they're jerks. You don't understand how the third perk is survival will work, or even temperature. Yeah, I'm not sure about the temperature, where that's gonna go now. I assume that would be in one of those perks at least. There's got to be something about temperature that puts it up again. Because you still do need temperature help. Or maybe they're adding items to help with temperature. Or maybe they can rework the food. In previous streams they have said about reworking food items. So maybe we could have that in the future. I don't know. Or maybe an attribute will help a lot more now with your temperatures. But it's different. Or it's just a passive thing, or you actually need a perk for it. Any other questions? Yeah, the undead will deteriorate over time. So it's just like, boom. It's kind of just like having a temporary minion for the time being. Which it actually is, it does work well, it's a good system. I've had it before, it's quite nice on like just a whim to be able to spawn in some extra help. Or summon in some extra help. And then have those at your fingertips, and then know that they're disposable. You could put them in a lot of situations, which could be really great. Like if you were going against Warmaker and you need some extra minions for him to bash, perhaps you could spawn some. Any news about dungeon changes? They didn't say anything about dungeon changes. There might be some extra nitty-gritty patch notes about dungeons or changes there, but I gotta again read that all through. They released some more patch notes today, so I will definitely be having a read of that later. That is for sure. Yep, with those new portals, essentially you'll be able to put your own obelisk down and power your own obelisk, so that absolutely sorts the problem of teleporting around Sipta. Works out very good. What else do we have? Bummed about the perk that allows you to harvest twice as fast. They could still have one in there. They could still have one. As they've been, you know, put together, maybe it's a corrupted perk or something now. Or maybe it's in a different tree. Did they talk about thrall rebalancing? So many thralls are never sought because of Teemos and Delicia. Teemos is getting an absolute fat nerf. Thralls in general, fat nerf. What did they say? It was like minus 50% damage, and then they're cutting this health a lot to make the player the star of the show. But then again, like I was saying this a minute ago, I'll reiterate it. You can buff thralls now with your character, so it's more in conjunction together, so it actually will work a lot better instead of just having this massive beef machine following you. Alright, Anna, take care. Thank you for being here. If you haven't seen Anna Briella, by the way, she is a absolutely lovely lady who streams on Twitch, and you should definitely check her out. She plays some Valheim, and I've seen she's been playing Ark Fjordor as well. Been very entertaining. And she streams way more than me. So you can always check her out. Didn't see a lot about the patch when it released. Did you miss it? They released the patch notes on Twitter, actually. Let me see if I can find it. Twitter. Let's see. I will have a little look-see for you. I do think their stream went really well today, though. I will tell them that. I am looking forward to how they do their monetization options. Alright, screen capture. There we go. So this is the patch notes they released today. On Twitter, they said sorcery, building revamp, attribute revamp, battle pass, and more. and they have this whole page about it. They don't go into the nitty-gritty points, but they will go over the main features by the looks of it on this patch notes at the time. I imagine they'll go into the more nitty-gritty when we come closer to the actual release, which makes a lot of sense. This is normal. This is fine. Hey, Joe. You guess you missed it? Yeah, this is the tail end of it, but this will be uploaded as a VOD, so if you guys do want to watch this video back and see the reactions or how the stream went, you can absolutely do that on my channel. It will go up as a VOD. It might take a while for the HD version to process, though, as it usually will do. So yeah, this basically just goes over the points of the stream. If you want to find it, actually, I'll post it to you guys if you want to read it. I'll post it in chat. So if you do want to read about that, you can absolutely read about it. But it looks to be interesting. The promise of events coming back, I like that. I'm very interested to see how that's going to work. With it not being announced and you have to go out and find these things, it could be like having some treasure. You're like, I'm going on a run to Set City, and then suddenly you see event spawn and it's like, oh my god, it's all mine and nobody else can have it. Or maybe you'll call some people in like, help me. This could be amazing though. I think Conan needs more events, so seeing this excites the heck out of me. This, I am going to definitely do a lot of videos on this update when it comes out, by the way, guys. I'm going to hopefully cover all the nitty-gritty bits and go over everything and hopefully make it a bit easier to understand on some systems and stuff. Look at that, Rhino! So yeah, I'm not sure which bits are going to be pass-only or shop-only, but we can definitely say sorcery and attributes are free. So that is very lovely. And events will be free, I imagine. Still though, Funcom, if you're listening, can we do this to players, please? You said it's dark. Where is our tired up players? Did they end up addressing about private servers? Yep, it will be available on all servers. Yeah. You won't need Isle of Sipter to get the patch, I don't imagine, no. Because they have pictures of exiled lands in here. The building system, Joe, looks absolutely friggin' amazing. They did make it sound very overcomplicated in stream. Probably a picture presentation would have helped a lot with that one. But when they were talking about it, it was a bit like, huh? And all the information is like going in one ear, going out the other. But I'm sure it'll be a lot more understanding when you get the system in your actual hands and you can go and try it out yourself. It sounds like it's a lot easier to build and enjoy building and decorating and not having to use a bazillion stations or scroll to your fingers or saw in your inventory to find the building pieces that you want, or constantly having to type out the names of things you want to build in your inventory. The whole removing all that clutter is beautiful. Love that. Removing the bulk of the clutter out of your inventory is going to be an absolutely massive improvement, because you're going to be able to find things that you would want to find, like your proper items, your aloe, your torches, anything else like that. You'll be able to have that. This update will be released in Q3 apparently. I've heard reports that is anywhere between July and September. But that's just from another viewer, so I don't know. But somewhen this year. Somewhen this year, yeah. Is Battle Pass obligatory to earn rewards and cosmetics? Apparently, I think the number was, you can earn up to 12 things for free on the Battle Pass. But if you want the other 60, you have to pay. Again, I'm very unsure about the system. For me, it's a little strange. A little predatory there. Because if you're going to see those other items, you're going to want to buy it. They almost need their own free menu or something. Or maybe, I could see a way of it being, that could work quite well, that could be fair to players, is the first 12 items is free, And then if they want to progress any further, then that's when the pay happens. Or something. I don't know if that sounds like a terrible idea to you guys, but it could be. Because otherwise you're going to be going through 5 sets of items, looking at and being like, oh, I can't afford that. And if there's 60, you're going to have to look at quite a few of those while you're going through the levels. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about, questions and all. If you want to keep up to date with more things as well, I'm sure there's loads of other content creators talking about it. I know Conan's Twitter is definitely a place to look if you want to see things as well. They do update that pretty well. On their forums right now, I imagine it's going to be on fire. Best of regards to anybody having to deal with that crap. But it could be a good place for discussions about the same thing. If you guys are worried about monetization or things like that, it would be worth to go to the forums and maybe chat to other people with the same worries, and maybe get some answers from the devs who will settle those worries. Hopefully. Or what they're allowed to say anyway. So yeah, that's all I have to say today. Thank you for joining me, everyone. There's quite a few people today, actually. It was lovely you guys come along with me, and we hung out and did the live, and it was a fun time. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be all from me today. Thanks for watching. I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.